Welcome to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. A beautiful Saturday afternoon in Southern California as we're at Jackie Robinson Stadium. We anticipated getting Virginia Tech and UCLA this weekend, but not necessarily on day 2 in an elimination game. But that's where we're at with both teams losing yesterday and the #1 seed in the tournament facing elimination on their home field today against the Hokies. A look at our bracket for the Los Angeles Regional and the surprising matchup tonight in the winners bracket with St. Mary's, who knocked off UCLA yesterday, becoming the first #1 seed to lose the first game of an NCAA tournament, as the Gales will play the Big West tournament champs Cal Poly tonight as they beat Virginia Tech. So this elimination game today between the Hokies and the Bruins. Along with Wes Clements and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. And we thought we'd see this matchup, just not right now.
Well, you're right, Roxy. The biggest bracket buster yesterday happened right here at Jackie Robinson Stadium when UCLA was taken down by the St. Mary's Gales. And the Bruins have set a lot of streaks this year, Roxy. One of those streaks is they never lost 2 games in a row, and Bruins fans hope that stays intact.
Yeah, they haven't lost 2 in a row since the College World Series last year. But if the Bruins are going to get it going again, they're 51-7. Their offense needs to pick up. They were shut down by the Gales yesterday.
Well, there's no question about it. And the youngster you see on the screen is projected #1 overall MLB pick this year, and Rock Chalowski. You see his production. But the guy, him and the young man that hits behind them, Mulavai Lavu, have produced a lot of runs for the Bruins. And for the Bruins, who have not hit very well, Roxy, the past month, for the Bruins to score runs, these two are going to have to be right in the middle of it.
And they're going to have a tough challenge today. Brett Renfroe makes the start. He is the #1 pitcher for Virginia Tech. Did not pitch last night in the Cal Poly victory over Virginia Tech, but he goes today in a highly thought-of prospect with a big arm.
Well, when you're in a must-win situation and you're a Hokie fan, this is a good sign when you have arguably their best starting pitcher on the bump.
UCLA, Virginia Tech, elimination game, game 3 from the Los Angeles Regional. Lineups and first pitch next. Game 3 of the Los Angeles Regional elimination matchup between the 2-seed Virginia Tech and the #1 seed in the tournament. UCLA, as we look at the starting lineup for John Sheff and the Hokies, 30-25 for Virginia Tech this season. A balanced lineup, and Ethan Gibson a bat they need to contribute here this afternoon. And the lineup will face Michael Barnett, the junior righty, 6-0 for UCLA. And a 4.15 ERA, and he gets the ball for John Savage and the Bruins.
Well, he does. 65 innings pitched and 28 walks. That's something to keep an eye on. Features a fastball that will max out probably around 92. Sinker, sweeper, and a changeup. Needs to keep this sink ball down in the zone and get ahead of these Hokies hitters.
Strike 1 to Pete Daniel, leading it off for the Hokies. 329 for Daniel with a couple of homers. And Daniel moving up in the order. He hit 7th last night for Virginia Tech. The junior from Nashville went 2 for 3, scored a run last night in their loss to Cal Poly.
Totally different dynamics for both of these skippers. John Sheff for the Hokies and John Savage for the Bruins in a must-win game, because you lose this game and you go home, your season's done. So short leashes on both sides, I'm quite certain.
For them there. 1 and 2 to count.
There's that changeup.
Daniel, 11-game hit streak. First year at Virginia Tech, as Daniel spent 2 years at Belmont prior to moving to Blacksburg to play for Virginia Tech. And Barnett missing, it's ball 2.
Now Barnett's last 3 starts, a little bit shaky, Roxy. 12 2/3 innings, 19 hits, 10 earned runs.
Say that's a little bit more than shaky. That's rough.
I was being nice.
They need to get him going today. He's 6-0 on the year in the 2-2 pitch. And the strikeout, and that's how our ball game begins.
That's just a pure change from Mr. Barnett. And what makes a good changeup is a fastball arm action and a changeup speed, and you see it right there. The differential in the fastball is 90 down to 80 in his changeup.
Now it's Sam Grube, the right fielder for Virginia Tech. Just under 300, 299 on the season with 8 homers. And it's ball 1 to Grube. Grube made a couple of really nice plays in right field last night defensively for the Hokies. It's Grube, a transfer from Mount St. Mary's.
I think today, Roxy, it's very, very important for the Bruins, if you're a Bruins fan, to get a lead early. If you're a Hokie fan, whoever gets a lead early is going to set the tone, in my opinion, in this game.
Grube riding a modest 4-game hitting streak. He's hit 13 of the last 14 and has to duck out of the way of a Michael Barnett pitch. And it's 2-1 on the Hokies right fielder. Virginia Tech, the 2 seed in this Los Angeles regional. 15 and 15 in the ACC, and then won a game of the ACC tournament, so 16 aggregate conference wins for the Hokies this season. And they come in here having won 14 of their last 21. And a strong close to the regular season for Virginia Tech, although they were bounced in the quarters of the ACC tournament. This one is skied behind the plate. Cashel Duggar giving it a look, but he runs out of room. Well, now the count is run full on Grube.
To your point, Roxy, the Hokies finished season strong. It was, I believe, after the Stanford series, they had a team meeting and brought everybody together and said, hey, this is not working. We need to fix it. And they did.
They had a players-only meeting. And then ripped off by winning the next 4 ACC series. Won their opening game in Charlotte against Notre Dame in the 2nd round of the ACC tournament, then lost in the quarters to North Carolina. Pulled him there. Grube with a feeble swing, and then strikeout for Barnett to start his day.
Well, that's a little slide piece down and in. And when you think about Barnett throwing a changeup that is floating down and away to left-handers, and here is the same velo, but it's a slider down and in. So far so good for Michael Barnett.
2 outs. Here is Ethan Ball, the freshman second baseman. A terrific year for Virginia Tech. .310 with 16 homers, and he drove in 51. And Ball, a 5-game hitting streak, a member of the ACC all-freshman team, as Ball doubled and scored a run last night against the Mustangs. 1-1.
Well, when we talked to John Shafrock, remember we asked him, did you expect this from Ethan Ball? And he said, it's kind of interesting, his answer. He said, yeah, it wasn't offensively, it's defensively. When his defense got better, he took off as a complete player.
Shows bunt and may have tweaked something there. Awkwardly moves out of the batter's box after he pulled the bat back, and
sounds like
actually
like
it hit him. And Ball convincing the plate umpire Derek Everett that he got hit by the pitch, and it looks like it got him the back foot. Now John Savage, the head coach for UCLA, coming out.
Well, keep in mind, both of the teams get 2 challenges, and this is inning 1.
That is the 6th time in the last 4 games that Ball has been hit by a pitch. And it leads me to believe, Wes, that teams are trying to crowd him and jam him inside.
Well, I think we'll get the best angle right here. And here's one little issue here. If we can show that again. See where his foot's at? There's a box there for a reason. There's a box there for a reason. And John Savage might be asking, oh, he's over that line. He's almost behind the plate.
As he squared to bunt, yeah, his foot moved out of the box toward the plate. Ball is at first, 2 outs, and Henry Cook, the cleanup batter for Virginia Tech. The Hokies catcher climbs in. And it just missed, ball 1. 294 for Cook with 8 homers. 2 out, base runner, ball the runner at first. And Henry Cook, the senior from Stewart's Draft, Virginia. And he takes a strike from Barnett.
This little slider there. Very, very important for Barnett to get ahead of these Hokies hitters. Does not have the fastball to blow it by anybody.
Cook walked twice, 0 for 2 last night against Cal Poly. Short lead for Ball at first base. Barnett's pitch. In the air to right, over toward the line, hustling over is Jared Hocking on the move. Just shy of the track, runs it down, side retired. A runner left for the Hokies. Virginia Tech nothing. UCLA coming to bat. The NCAA Baseball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Gorgeous day at Jackie Robinson Stadium. Temperatures in the low 70s. Elimination game between the #1 UCLA Bruins and Virginia Tech. And the Bruins offense, which has been struggling recently, even though they won the Big Ten Tournament Championship, they trailed in all 3 games in Omaha last weekend.
Well, take a look at it. Through April, almost 9 runs a game. From May on, about 6, but the batting average is a concern. They're only hitting less than 250 here. To give you an idea, as we take a look at the Bruins batting order, Will Gasparino Rocks is back, and the Bruins are hoping that he is the key to ignite this offense.
He had to serve that mandatory 1-game suspension because of what was deemed malicious contact in the Big Ten Tournament final against Oregon. And could not be at the ballpark yesterday, but in the lineup for John Savage today against Brett Renfroe, talented right-hander. Renfroe 5-4 and a 4.65 ERA, but he averages better than a strikeout per inning and gives up fewer than 1 hit per inning on the hill.
Well, he's been real good, and anytime that Brett has had trouble this year, it's normally the 2nd time through the lineup. To give you an idea of the slumping Bruins, Godoy 1 for the last 12. Phoenix Call 1 for his last 21. Hocking 0 for his last 9.
And UCLA yesterday against St. Mary's was 0 for 15 with runners on base. Dean West leads it off for the Bruins, a 279 hitter. 6 homers for West, the junior from Woodland Hills here in Southern California. Takes strike 1 from Brett Renfroe at 94 from the Hokies right-hander.
And a couple others. Mulavai Lavu 0 for his last 9, and Cashel Duggar 2 for his last 21.
1 strike pitch. That's in the dirt, 1-1. Renfroe from Manassas, Virginia. A 3-year starter for John Sheff and the Hokies. With just 3-7 last year, but at a really solid 3.89 ERA. The ERA up a bit this year, 4.65. 5-4 record, making his 15th start. Hit on the ground and through into right. And Dean West starts off UCLA with a single and a start for the Bruins.
Well, just what the doctor ordered if you're a Bruins fan. Dean West leading off the game with a base hit. This is a fastball in the inside part. Dean West finds a 3-4 hole.
Now it's Rock Chalowski. Strike 1 is a fastball pumped by the UCLA shortstop. 96 from Brett Renfroe.
It's just dead red from Renfroe.
Chalowski 323, 21 homers, 60 driven in. The 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year, the anticipated #1 pick in the Major League Draft.
if there is some vulnerability with Ruck, and there's very little as a hitter, it is at the top of the zone. That said, it's pretty much synonymous with even the greatest hitters in the game.
Dean West at first. Another mighty rip, again up in the zone.
It's very difficult to get to that pitch up in the zone unless you're literally, as a hitter, thinking your eyesight is top to bottom in the strike zone. So I got to cover the top of the zone and go down.
West, who has 10 steals, back to first base. Chalowski, a sac fly yesterday against St. Mary's in the opening game of this regional. And he flew out to end the game in the bottom of the 9th against Cam Staton as St. Mary's escaped with the win. Chalowski drives it out to right center and deep. Going back is Grube. He'll make the catch just shy of the track. And West back to first as Chalowski trying to go the other way. Chalowski lines out to right, and that will bring up Mulivai Lavu, the first baseman for the Bruins, who's hitting a team best .336. It's 62 batted in for the Bruins first baseman.
Last hit was against crosstown rivals USC, and it was a home run.
Walk-off shot against USC in the semis in Omaha at the Big Ten tournament.
Since then, 0 for 9.
Want to know the count on Lavu, the junior from Huntington Beach down here in Southern California. West running, swing and a miss, throw to second base, and Dean West steals the bag. 11 stolen base for West as he motors into scoring position here with 1 out.
Well, Dean West picks a perfect pitch to run on. It's a straight change. You'll see Dean West, good jump, checks into the dish, but it's a changeup, and that's what allows him to get there.
And the stolen base for West. That's just the 31st steal for UCLA this year. They don't run much.
Well, you score a lot of runs. You don't want to give up risk any other outs.
The 1-1 pitch, and outside to Lavu. It's 2-1 as Renfroe hasn't pitched in just over 2 weeks. His last start came against Clemson back on May 14th. That final weekend of the regular season. That series started against the Tigers on Thursday.
Well, the one thing about Lavu, he's led the Bruins in RBIs last year and this year. Nobody on the Bruins hits higher than Mulivai does with runners in scoring position. 369 with 2 outs. Runners scoring position 500.
Over toward the Hokies dugout that has bodies scattering, and a full count as Lavu fights that one off from Renfroe. In that start against Clemson, Renfroe threw 7 1/3 innings. 2 weeks ago, he gave up just 1 run on 6 hits with 5 strikeouts. He's thrown 100+ pitches in each of his last 5 starts. (3-2) and a breaking ball that missed off the outside, and Renfroe thought he made his pitch, was staring in at plate umpire Derek Everett, but did not get the call.
Well, it's a good take by Lavu, and it's the first time he saw the 12-6 curveball from Renfroe. Looks like it goes around the outside part, and it does. It's a real good call. That's the respect they have for the Bruins RBI leader in Lavu.
2 on, 1 out. Roman Martin, the batter for UCLA, the cleanup hitter, .332. 8 homers for Martin, and he says he got hit by the pitch. Plate umpire Derek Everett not biting it, or not buying it.
He's not even acknowledging.
Martin homered against St. Mary's yesterday. West at second, LaVue at first. Renfroe the 1-0 pitch. And it's 2-0 on Roman Martin.
Well, now you're in a danger zone right now if you're Renfroe.
First team all Big Ten for Martin, a 6-game hitting streak for the junior. Was the most outstanding player at the regional here last year. Had a really good postseason for the Bruins. And it's ball 3 to Martin with Will Gasparino looming on deck.
You gonna ask me?
You give him the green light?
When you haven't not been scoring runs and you have somebody like a Roman Martin up there, I trust him to swing at a strike.
Not close, and they're loaded. Dean West slides over to third. Up to second goes LaVue. Back-to-back walks surrendered by Renfroe. And they are loaded for Will Gasparino.
Kind of fitting, isn't it? Gasparino was not available yesterday.
He's so relieved to be let loose from his apartment and not have to listen to us.
Was that what it was, or was some other place that John Savage said? But that said, it's kind of fitting, and it's the beauty of sports, right? The guy that couldn't even show up to the yard. Bruin fans are up on their feet on the third base side. They understand just how big this moment is, albeit the first inning.
And by rule, because of the mandatory 1-game suspension, Gasparino was not allowed at the ballpark yesterday. He is 6 for 14 this year with the bases loaded. 1 out, last of the first, a threat for UCLA. Strike 1.
That's a real good slider from Renfroe.
Gasparino 316, 19 homers this year. Transferred from Texas 2 years with the Longhorns and came back to Los Angeles. Fooled him there, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, Gasparino has had trouble the entire year with off-speed pitches. He hits the hard fastball, the hardest of them, better than anybody on this club. I would expect the same type of pitch. Something soft out of the zone.
1-2 the count on Gasparino. Renfroe dealing with traffic. Already 20 pitches here in the first for the junior righty for the Hokies. The pitch. And it's low to Gasparino. 2 balls, 2 strikes as he lays off the changeup. Leadoff single. West stole second. He's now at third. Mulavai LaVue at second. Roman Martin the runner at first. Renfroe, the 2-2 pitch. And it's low, and a full count on Gasparino just missed.
Just low.
As Henry Cook tried to frame it for our plate umpire, Derek Everett.
If I'm anticipating, Will Gasparino hits the hard fastball as good as anybody on this UCLA club. I wouldn't be surprised something soft here.
In the air, this will get out of play off the bat of Gasparino.
And that was the slider.
And with the bases loaded, the guts to throw that pitch.
Well, again, you're talking about somebody we know can hit the fastball. And if you throw a strike with a fastball, it could be 4-0 in about a second and a half.
Brent Renfroe, big spot, trying to keep UCLA off the board. Again, the 3-2. Foul back. He brought the heater that time.
He did. Up in the zone, the location was a good part of that for Renfroe.
8th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Bases full for Will Gasparino.
Such a good pitch, the fastball up in the zone, because it sets up something soft.
struck him out. 95, 2 gone, and that was huge for Brett Renfroe.
Well, gigantic, and a tremendous pitch from Renfroe. We've talked about how hard it is to hit the fastball up in the zone. Closest pitch to your eyes, you think it's the easiest pitch, it's the toughest pitch.
Now it leaves it up to Cashel Duggar, the Bruins catcher, with 2 down with the bases full. And it's ball 1 to Duggar, 260 hitter with 4 homers this year. Bases loaded for UCLA here in the last of the first. Renfroe, the 1-strike pitch is, or 1-0 pitch rather, is fouled deep down the left side, out of play. And it's 1-1 on Duggar. And the numbers for UCLA with runners aboard have not been good so far in this regional. Duggar 1 for 3 yesterday, also drew a walk. The 1-1 pitch. At the knees, 1-2. Right at the bottom of the zone.
Duggar's driven in 38 this year for the Bruins. And when you've been hitting in the 6 and 7 hole in this lineup and you still have 38 RBIs.
The pitch in the dirt, 2-2 the count on Cashel Duggar.
Many times when you're in a jam like Renfroe has been, bases loaded with Gasparino up, somebody can leave the yard. It's always that last out of that inning. You get out of the big hitter. It's the last out that's the toughest.
Topped it, foul up the first base side. And we'll do it again. As Duggar just 2 for his last 26 with that single yesterday against St. Mary's. That snapped for Duggar. An 0 for 19.
Getting back to my point, it's always the last out of the inning because everybody knew that Gasparino could make the game 4-0. So Renfroe punches him out. There's a sense that you go, okay, I got that guy. And then you lose that concentration that you had against Gasparino.
Regardless of how this turns out, UCLA is extending Renfroe here in the first. They are making him work.
Absolutely. 31 pitches already.
Bases loaded for UCLA, 2 down. Brett Renfroe, the payoff pitch, and a weak tapper at the plate, and Duggar hangs in there. That will mean the runners will go back, and we'll do it again.
Well, again, the second time this inning on a 3-2 count, Roxy, with a bases loaded, we've seen something soft, and this was a slider from Renfroe. And you see
that was right off the knee of the catcher, Henry Cook.
Right off of Cook's knee.
4 straight 3-ball counts that Renfroe has had to work through. And what's crazy is UCLA has already seen 32 pitches in the first. They didn't see more than 22 pitches in any inning against St. Mary's yesterday. Now back, and we'll do it again.
I tell you what, you see that swing right there by Duggar. He has flipped so many singles to left field with 2 strikes just with that exact swing. You just know this whole place is going to erupt if Duggar happens to get a hit here.
Full house at Jackie Robinson Stadium. Elimination game. Bases loaded, 2 down for UCLA in a full count. The merry-go-round will go on the pitch. And going the other way, backhanded to third. Owen Petrich fires across to first. They get Duggar, and Renfroe is able to wiggle out of it for Virginia Tech. 1 hit, 3 left. We're through 1. Scoreless. UCLA and Virginia Tech in LA. Look at our bracket for the Los Angeles Regional still to come in the winner's bracket tonight. Cal Poly and St. Mary's at 3 against the 4 seed. And the winner of our game will advance to an elimination game. Another one tomorrow, while the loser of their matchup right here is done. Their season ends. And a quick turnaround for Virginia Tech, who lost last night to Cal Poly. And they were handcuffed by Griffin Ness. The big righty for the Mustangs last night. And a called strike as Ethan Gibson leads off the second for the Hokies. 5, 6, and 7 for Virginia Tech. Hudson Luterman and Nick Licurdo to follow. Ethan Gibson, the junior, hitting .325 with 7 homers. The pitch in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Gibson, who drops from the 2-hole last night. Gibson had a rough night, was 0 for 4, struck out 3 times against Cal Poly. Gibson had his 10-game hitting streak snapped by the Mustangs. Line to left, over toward the line. Dean West is there to make the grab. Out number 1 in the second for Michael Barnett. Now it's Hudson Luterman, the DH, will climb in there, and you can see the heavily taped back right ankle for Luterman, who's been dealing with that injury the last few weeks. Slugger with 10 homers this year, hitting .298.
Well, he had a couple foul balls yesterday, Roxy, that looked like it was really barking.
Takes ball 1. And it's the swing, and it seems the off-speed pitch is the one that gives him more trouble. Luterman, an exceptional fastball hitter, but the off-speed is when he really had some grimaces on the ankle. Because of the ankle, I should say. 1-0 pitch.
Well, the off-speed, like it does most hitters, is it keeps them off balance, right? So there's no stability on both legs.
He missed a couple of games in May because of it, and has battled through it. Played at the ACC tournament with it. He's cooled there, and you can see him kind of flex out that right leg on that follow through, chasing the off speed.
See just the balance, and you see the stability. Not bad there, but you see what we're talking about. His back leg is the first thing that he raises.
Loops that one foul. 2-2 on Luterman. And why is it the back leg that gives him the problem? Because it's not his land foot.
No, you're right. That said, it's the angle, because it's torquing towards the pitcher. Right now, where it's at now, he's stable.
Just missed as Barnett was starting to twirl around the hill. He thought he made his pitch.
How about Luterman? You see his left arm go, no, that's out.
Luterman, the sophomore from Knoxville, Tennessee. And the 3-2 pitch, and Luterman grounds it left side, stationed toward the hole as Rock Chalowski slings it on to first, and there's 2 outs in the Hokies' second. The NCAA Regionals coverage for all 16 sites continues tonight and on through tomorrow on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app, and if we need it on Monday as well. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Nick Licurdo, 2 outs, top of the second. RBI single for Licurdo last night for the Hokies, and it's strike 1 on the left fielder for Virginia Tech. Junior hitting .285 with 6 home runs. Licurdo has hit safely in 5 of the last 6 for the Hokies, and he lays off. It's 1-1. Later tonight, St. Mary's and Cal Poly in our winners bracket game at 6 o'clock locally. 9 Eastern, and Licurdo fooled by a changeup over the top there.
So far, so good for Michael Barnett. Very efficient, just 29 pitches and 1 2/3.
The abbreviated motion, the pitch, and that's lined back to the screen. And if you're John Savage, Barnett has been scuffling recently. How closely do you monitor it, especially considering what's at stake? Your season's on the line.
Well, both pitchers, starting pitchers, the leash is very, very short.
1-2. Hit on the ground toward the hole. Backhanded by Chalowski. Fires to first. What a play by Rock Chalowski. Showing off the arm and the range, and a 1-2-3 second for Michael Barnett.
Rock Chalowski showing why all major league clubs would like to have him in their organization next year.
The defensive prowess from Rock Chalowski just on display. That was a difficult play. Look, he didn't make it look easy, but he handled it with ease.
Well, he does, and again, I know it's Lottie comparison when you're comparing him to Derek Jeter, but that's who he kind of reminds me as a hitter, an inside-out guy with more power.
Bottom of the order for the Bruins, and a called strike to Trey Godoy, the DH for UCLA, a .283 hitter.
And what Jeter did better than everybody is he was always in the right spot, Roxy. He always knew what pitch was throwing. He knew the hitter, his tendencies and where he hit the ball. And that's how Derek Jeter made up for the lack of range, per se. That was a label.
Godoy 1 for 3, doubled and scored a run against St. Mary's, and Brett Renfroe thought he made his pitch, and the catcher Henry Cook was ready to throw it around the infield. 1-2 the count on Godoy. Freshman for UCLA, he's from Escondido. And he hits that one well out to right. Going back is Sam Grube, drifting with it as he's just shy of the warning track, and he makes the catch. A long out off the bat of Godoy, one away.
Well, we just saw a backhand from Rock. This is the last play against Michigan State on that big comeback. This play up the middle was incredible, but this one here, this exemplifies who Rock Chalowski is. Yes, it's a great play, but watch his facial expression after he catches his ball. It's a big smile, and then today, the quickness of getting that ball out of his glove to first base.
Phoenix Call batting with one out, and it's 1-0 on Call, hitting .204 with a homer. There is Chalowski. And Call takes high, ball 2, and Call bounced back and forth yesterday. He started the game at second base and then went to center. He's played both positions, and he's back at second base today. And UCLA had to adjust as the day was progressing yesterday. It was a weird day just lineup-wise for John Savage, dealing with a few situations. Not having Will Gasparino. Then pregame, Aiden Aguayo was in the original lineup for UCLA yesterday. He got hurt warming up and had to be lifted.
And that's not all.
And then in game, Peyton Brennan was injured in the 5th inning of the game yesterday and had to come out. And that precipitated the move of Call going from second base to center field as bouncer to short. Pete Daniel and the throw to first, and out by a step is Phoenix Call, 2 away. And this is what UCLA had to deal with yesterday. And not just that, but they're still without their ace, Logan Redeman, who has not pitched since April 17th. John Savage is optimistic. Most likely not available this weekend, Redeman, but should they somehow find a way to win this regional and get to a super regional next weekend, he's optimistic they could have him available.
Well, if he comes back, that's the best Joker card any team could ever have in the history of NCAA postseason baseball. Logan Redeman was sensational prior to going out.
Jared Hocking, the hitter. And it's 1-1 on Hocking getting a start in right field, the senior from Anaheim Hills. His dad Denny, a longtime major leaguer. And a really good career, 3 teams in the big leagues for Denny Hocking. 1-2 the count on Jared Hocking here with 2 down. But the numbers for Redmond this year: 8-0 with a 2.87 ERA. And that's what UCLA is missing, their #1 guy. 2-2 on Hocking. Swing and a miss, got him. Struck him out. Second for Brett Renfro. 3 up, 3 down inning for the Hokies right-hander. We're scoreless heading to the third in LA. Well, national seeds playing elimination games today. Not just UCLA, but Auburn lost at home yesterday, and they've been dealing with weather in the southeast, as 8 of the 16 regionals have been dealing with some type of delay or weather. Florida State in trouble in Tallahassee against Coastal Carolina. And then Southern Miss in a battle with Virginia right now. And the Cavaliers leading the Golden Eagles. So #9, Southern Miss in real jeopardy. We're scoreless to the third in LA, where there are no weather problems here, and a towering fly to right. Jared Hocking waiting for it to come down. 1 out. And that's 5 straight retired by Michael Barnett. And there's 1 away here in the top half of the third for the Hokies. And we mentioned Redmond. There he is charting. And I watched him throw a bullpen earlier, and he is staying dialed in. Now, he may not be available right now, but that hasn't let his mind wander from the team.
Well, it's a good man to sit next to if you're Logan Redmond. One of the best pitching minds ever in college baseball, and John Savage.
Owen Petrich takes ball 1. 256 hitter with 5 homers. As Petrich last night went 0 for 3 and hit into 2 double plays. Unfortunately for the Hokies at 2 critical junctures of the game last night. Two 2-0. Petrich, who's bounced around, started at Delaware, then 2 years at St. Joe's. And now his final season with Virginia Tech. He hit over 300 each of the last 2 years with double-digit homers for St. Joe's and the Hawks the last 2 years. That's off his foot. Foul ball. It's 2-1.
Well, you mentioned weather has affected a lot of games. Coastal and Florida State delayed in the bottom of the 4th already, with Coastal holding a 1-0 lead.
A few sites yesterday could only get 1 game in. Not a cloud in the sky. Weather not a problem in LA.
This is beautiful.
Although I do see one way toward downtown, way off in the distance.
Actually, it would be pointed towards the north end, towards Northern California.
No, it's due east as I'm looking way off.
Well, you know, west is where the water's at, right? You know that.
And you just figured that out.
Yeah, just want to let you know.
And the sun also sets over there.
Just outside. Yeah, on the west coast, it sets out here on the west.
2-2 pitch. Petrich takes just low. And a full count as Barnett has struck out 2 so far. And the only batter that has reached for the Hokies was Ethan Ball in the first inning when he was hit by a pitch. Overshift on for Petrich. And he takes high. And that is a 1-out walk and a base runner for Virginia Tech. ESPN is the home for the NCAA College Baseball Regionals. Around the clock, multi-game coverage. Scan the QR code right there. On ESPN Plus, you can get access to expanded coverage with Squeeze Play. It's on there right now, and they were leading into us with Chris Budd and Mike Rooney and Chris Burke.
Well, it's a tremendous show. Squeeze Play.
Top of the order, Pete Daniels struck out his first time up, and he grounds it foul.
Out of all the people that you would not want to walk, it's the 9-hole hitter in any lineup, because it flips the lineup over to the top. And this is where you can get some damage done against you.
Barnett. 1-strike pitch. And that finds a low outside edge, and it's 0-2. As Barnett, his last start was against USC in the semis of the Big Ten tournament. Lasted only 4 2/3 innings, giving up 3 runs on 8 hits. He came out of the shoot blazing this year was impressive at the start of the year. And it just missed there. As Barnett winning each of his first 3 starts and 4 of his first 5. But then kind of hit a little bit of bump in the road, right of the ship for a bit. Now has struggled his last few outings. His last win was back on April 11th. Bouncer to the right side, flag down, Phoenix call. Short throw to first. That takes care of Daniel, and Owen Petrich gets to second. 2 gone for the Hokies in the 3rd, and here comes Sam Groove. Groove, a strikeout victim in the 1st. 2 outs with Petrich at second base. But the last win for Barnett was against Rutgers back in New Jersey on April 11th. He went 5 innings with 7 strikeouts. No decision in each of his last 6 appearances. And fouled off of the plate by Groove.
Big run out there at second, Petrich, for the Hokies in this game. Bruins have been chasing a lot recently.
Oh, 2 the count on Groove. 421 this year with runners in scoring position. And the overall average just under 300.
This is where you might see something soft, that change up down and away after going back-to-back down and in.
2 outs, Petrich at second, and a pick play is on with Chalowski ducking in, and diving back is Owen Petrich.
And that right there is, you see the sportsmanship from Rock, right? He just pats Petrich on the chest. We're just playing a game here.
Shift on, playing group to pull for UCLA. In the dirt, blocked by the catcher, Cashel Duggar. As the second baseman Call is out in shallow right, and Chalowski just about a step to the left of second base.
Can't do this in the big leagues anymore, can you?
Nope, you got to be on the dirt. Phoenix Call would have to come in a few steps. 1-2 on Sam Groove. Michael Barnett. The pitch. In on the hands and over the leaping Chalowski into center. Petrich rounding third. He will score a 2-out RBI single, and Virginia Tech strikes first. 1-0 Hokies.
Just middle and up. That's the last place you want to throw a hitter with 2 strikes, just over outstretched glove of Rock.
And a big lift for Virginia Tech. The 2-out hit and the RBI is Ethan Ball at the plate. And a move to first by Barnett. Ball was hit by a pitch his first time, and the home run and RBI leader for Virginia Tech at the plate.
Yeah, this is just like that. A huge hitter to get out for Barnett.
And you walked the 9-hitter, and UCLA paid for it. The run is in. Strike 1 to Ethan Ball. Phenomenal debut season for Ball. And you can make the case one of the best freshman seasons by an offensive player in Virginia Tech history.
We see the gaudy offensive numbers. Yesterday, he made some tremendous defensive plays at second base.
Virginia Tech back in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2022, when they were the #4 national seed in that tournament. They hosted a regional and a super. Ball sends it out of play. It's 0-2 now on freshman second baseman for Virginia Tech. Well, they lost to Oklahoma in a winner-take-all Game 3 in that super regional in Blacksburg back in 2022. And the 12th tournament appearance in Virginia Tech history here this year. Runner goes, and the throw down to second base. Offline, knocked down by Cholowski, and a steal for Sam Grue. 11th steal for Grue, but wait a second, they're calling out maybe due to batter's interference and trying to interfere with the catcher Duggar.
Right now, that's the only thing that I can guess that it was.
Because I don't think it was necessarily strike 3.
Derek Everett, home plate umpire. Let's see if Ethan Ball.
Oh yeah, it was. It was strike 3. There you go.
Oh.
Watch
you
the
only
pitch,
get 3
guys.
in this game.
Pay attention. Strike 3 call. John Savage joins us next. Top of the order for the Bruins. 1-0 Virginia Tech. We go to the bottom of the third. The Los Angeles Regional at Jackie Robinson Stadium. A beautiful Saturday afternoon, along with Wes Clements and our ESPN crew. Roxy Bernstein. We're joined by John Savage, the UCLA head coach. And John, how do you handle today? I noticed your guys were loose. It seemed to them like it was just another day at the ballpark. But how do you handle today?
Same way. I mean, you know, you have to. I mean, there's no reason to act different after you win 50 games. You know, I mean, we've got a lot of confidence in our guys, and certainly they know how to respond. So it's just been, we haven't been able to get a big hit. You know, yesterday we get one, and then, you know, the first couple innings today we left some runners on base.
Well, John, Michael Barnett, he's been pretty affected so far after being roughed up his past few outings. Is this all hands on deck for you today?
Oh yeah, well, 100%. I mean, you know, Barnett's been really good throughout his career. He's had a really good, nice 4-year career at UCLA, and very dependable guy, and throws, you know, multiple pitches for strikes. And when he's right, he can really keep you in the ball game. He can get the double play, kind of like the Cal Poly started last night. You know, those guys are nice to have just because you didn't get 2 outs with 1 pitch.
You didn't have Will Gasparino yesterday. As a drive to right, hooking. Foul off the bat of West, just foul, home run distance. But you didn't have Will Gasparino, John, yesterday. How does that affect your lineup getting him back?
Well, you know, we lost Brennan, and it looks like Aguayo. So, you know, Aguayo doesn't play every day. Brennan obviously does. So it affects the lineup a little bit. We had to move some things around yesterday, and, you know, quite frankly, we had to move things around a little bit today. Just on the back end of it, but it's nice to have Will back. I thought it was a very unfortunate play. I mean, this is college baseball, and, you know, at the highest level, and to lose a game on that play, I think is, you know, I don't want to say little league. That's kind of a hard term, but I just, you know, I just don't think it was a malicious play. But, you know, it is what it is, and we lost him, and he's back, which is great.
John, appreciate the time. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks.
John Savage, the Big Ten Coach of the Year, 51-7 UCLA. 0-2 on Dean West, leading off the bottom of the third, and he grounds it sharply foul past first base as West singled in the first for UCLA. And John alluded to it and half jokingly said yesterday, I asked John, well, where's Will Gasparino going to watch the game from? He goes, San Quentin.
Yeah, well, you know, historically, normally the personality of your skipper, your players are going to obtain that same personality, and that's what it is. You can see John's been here many times. He understands it, and there's no reason to change your personality. When coaches and skippers change their personality when it gets tense in must-win games, your players see it. Thus, they themselves get more out of whack and start to press and put a lot more pressure on themselves.
It's like those T-shirts the St. Mary's guys are wearing on workout day here. Be real.
Be real. Is what it is. I mean, it's
under it. West lofts it to the left side. Owen Petrich, the third baseman, drifting with it, puts it away out number 1.
Pete Daniel, I guarantee, is going to go in the dugout and say, hey, I actually play over here at shortstop. I could have just stood right here and got it.
And there you see Rock Cholowski drawing in the dirt there. And if you haven't seen the Chris Connolly feature on ESPN.com, please go see it. It is an incredible story of Rock Cholowski and friendship and loyalty and losing a very close friend. As Cholowski a fly out in the first. Former teammate of his in youth travel ball, Nate Rogalski, passed away. And Rock Chalowski honors him every at-bat, every game that he plays, as he lines it to left, and it's sinking in front of Nick Licurdo. And there is a sharp single off the bat of Chalowski, and a one-out base runner for UCLA. And not just honoring him with drawing his initials in the dirt, but that's the tattoo that Rock has on the inside of his left arm to honor Nate Rogalski. And if you watch that tribute online,
bring some tissue.
You're going to need them. And keep the onions away from you when you're watching, and because the tears will start flowing. Ball 1 to Mulavai Lavu, who walked in the first. As Chalowski ends the run of 6 in a row, retired by Brett Renfroe. 1 out, Chalowski at first, 1-0 Virginia Tech in the third.
Well, we talked about Rock and Lavu in the open need to get it going.
As if you're not familiar with the story, and again, Rock Chalowski and his friend Nate Rogalski passed away from a sudden illness, and it was devastating to anybody who knew him. The parents are featured in this feature, and it's just an incredible watch. And you learn more about the character of Rock Chalowski. You see the player who's potentially the #1 pick in the Major League Draft, but you learn about the person and what makes Rock Chalowski tick.
Well, it's a big part and a great point you make, Roxy. Above and beyond MLB's 5 tools that they love to see in their high draft picks, character is #1, because it, regardless of how great of an athlete you are and player, if you don't have the character that goes with it, doesn't mix in a dugout.
Mulavai Lavu walks for a second time, and the Bruins have 2 on with 1 out. And this was Chalowski, and what he does prior to every ball game, and then also every at bat. Pay tribute to his friend who's past Nate Rogalski. Chalowski at second, Lavu at first, Roman Martin, who walked in the first, is the hitter, the cleanup batter for UCLA. Brett Renfroe. And it's ball 1 as Renfroe so far has walked 3, he has struck out 2. And he pitched his way out of that bases loaded 1-out jam, keeping UCLA off the board in the first. But he's dealing with traffic again, and a threat from the Bruins. Martin skies this one to the infield. Infield fly rule is called near the bag at second, and making the catch, that is the shortstop, Pete Daniel, moving over to the right side of the infield for out #2.
Well, Ethan Gibson was over there as well, the first baseman. But there's these intangibles we talk about Rock Chalowski, and we've all seen his skills. He loves the game of baseball. Evidence from the play and left we showed you where he's smiling after he catches the ball, but he's the best teammate that you could possibly ever have. He's always more concerned about his teammates than he is himself, and he's always trying to pump up his teammates.
Here is Will Gasparino, 2 on, 2 out, 1-0 Hokies in the third. Renfroe, the pitch, blew it by him there. Had some giddy up on that fastball. 95 running in. Gasparino had a good tournament last weekend at the Big Ten. Went 5 for 9. A couple of doubles, had a triple, riding a 5-game hitting streak. As he takes a strike, and it's 0-2 on the Bruins center fielder. UCLA is just in desperate need of a hit, and you get the sense, again, a clutch spot, that if it comes, it could open the floodgates and the pressure valve will release.
It could. It's a very good way to put it, Roxy, because and it doesn't have to be a bomb. It could be, arguably in pro ball, it's a broken bat single that wakes up a team. All they're trying to do is get a base hit. That's all they're trying to do, is get a run on the board.
Chalowski at second, Lavu at first. 1 and 2 on Will Gasparino. Brett Renfroe, the pitch. Pop up, shallow right center. Ethan Ball going out, twisting and turning. The second baseman puts it away. And Brett Renfroe wiggles out of it again. 1 hit, 2 left. 1-0 Virginia Tech. We go to the 4th, middle third of the order coming up for the Hokies. It is the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Gorgeous Southern California on a Saturday afternoon. That's Santa Monica Pier, Wes? You're the SoCal expert.
Oh, well, yeah, but once you see the Ferris wheel there, that's Santa Monica. That's what it is. Just up the coast, a little bit north, you'll see Malibu.
Around the turn there.
Around the turn, that's Pacific Coast Highway. I'll take it from here, Rocks. I live here. You don't. Just stay away from Southern California.
You can give traffic updates too?
Well, I do at times.
Middle third of the order for the Hokies as we open up the 4th, and Henry Cook takes ball 1, a flyout victim in the 1st. Cook followed by Ethan Gibson and Hudson Luderman here for Virginia Tech.
I was going to say Pacific Palisades, but it was very sad for a lot of it's prior to Malibu.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. In the air to right. Jared Hocking backing up just a bit and gliding with it, makes the catch, reaching the rim of the warning track with the breeze blowing out toward right. And we saw the ball just carry yesterday. The 2 homers that St. Mary's hit yesterday from Jacob Johnson appear to be just fly balls that kept carrying and got a little maybe extra help getting over the wall and right.
You are right, Roxy. I would say the first one that he hit much better than the second one. The second one, we both thought it was just a routine fly ball to right.
Here's Ethan Gibson with 1 out. Ground ball. Rock Chalowski charges on to first. A low throw with a dig by Lavu. Well done by Mulivai Lavu over at first base, and the ball that short hopped the Bruins first baseman, and Chalowski smiling knowing his teammate just picked him up.
Well, that's the fun of the game for both of them, and Lavu is arguably one of the best first basemen defensive wise in college baseball. But you see, and then Rock says thank you very much with the smile.
Lavu first team all defense as well in the Big Ten this year. 2 down for Hudson Luderman. And top of the zone, a strike for Michael Barnett. Luderman grounded out in the 2nd.
Well, John Savage believes that Mulivai Lavu could play third base at the next level. He's got tremendous feet.
Oh, and 2. Top of the 4th inning, and the Bruins trailing at 1-0. They've stranded 5 runners through the first 3, and Renfroe has pitched his way in and out of jams. Roll it to short. Rock Chalowski up with it. On to first. Much easier throw that time for Lavu to handle. Michael Barnett, a 6-pitch inning. To the home 4th we go. 1-0 Hokies. You can take it out. Fine.
Huh?
Take it out.
Okay. This is Mulivai Lavu with his Samoan culture. His uncle actually teaches this in Orange County. The official name is Sivi Api and/or fire knife dance. But could you imagine doing that at 8 years old, Rox?
I can't imagine doing that at any age without burning myself. Ball drilled. Cashel Duggar deep to right field. Tie game home run. 5th of the year for Duggar, and the Bruins have knotted this game here in the last of the 4th. Duggar drills that one over the wall, and UCLA has tied the ball game and snapping out of a 2 for 27. Duggar with a homer. Trey Godoy now the batter, and he lifts this one out to left. Playable for Nick Licurdo, over and in, and one gone here in the fourth, but Duggar unloads for UCLA.
Well, it's a fastball in, and you can see Duggar thinks he got it right off the bat. Very rarely does Duggar give you this look. That's it. And then we talked about this team, and the Bruins are a team, and everybody cares about one another, and they don't care who does the damage. This is how excited they get.
Ball one to Phoenix. Call. I have to imagine there was just a loud cheer in the home clubhouse at Coors Field in Denver.
You think? As
the Rockies are getting ready to play the Giants tonight after the Rockies a huge comeback against San Francisco last night in the bottom of the ninth. But Cashel Duggar, his dad Keith is the athletic trainer for the Colorado Rockies
for a long time.
Grew up in that clubhouse, being around the guys. So I have to imagine that was a big moment in the Rockies clubhouse.
Well, he's getting fist pumps, is his dad Keith, from the players.
Called strike to Call.
But I think something to keep an eye on with Renfroe is his pitch count, up at 74. And we're just to 3 1/3.
Strike two. One out here in the bottom of the fourth. Call grounded out his first time. And Call in the air, out toward right center field. A long run still going, and it carries all the way and skips over the wall. Phoenix Call, a rule book double, and that goes to show you the wind and how it's pushing balls out toward right center, because both the center fielder Sam Gates and Sam Grube, the right fielder, appeared to have a beat on it, but it just kept going.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Rox. Once this wind starts blowing during the day towards right center, fly balls go up, and if you're an outfielder, you think, okay, this is just a routine fly ball, and before you know it, the ball picks up about 25 feet. As you take a look at Gates, and you're going to see Grube out of the right of your screen. This ball finds its one hop over the wall.
And now it's the 9-hitter Jared Hocking. And that's strike one as Hocking struck out his first time. I guarantee you one person in the Rockies clubhouse, though, probably wasn't happy right now. And that's their first baseman, T.J. Rumfield. Because he played for Virginia Tech.
Well, I'll give you somebody that was happy that's on that Rocky roster.
That ball drilled to left. Nick Licurdo back, and that's off the wall. Having to hold, now breaking for third. Phoenix Call being waved. And the throw, there will be no throw to the plate. Jared Hocking doubles off the wall, and the senior puts UCLA in front.
This is another pitch up in the zone from Renfroe. You see it up in the zone, and Jared Hocking lines it off the base of the wall. There you see Phoenix Call on his horse for the Bruins' second run, and then Hocking says, just give me more opportunities and I'm going to come through.
Second double for Hocking and just his third RBI. And the senior responding, the first hit for the Bruins with a runner on in this regional, and it puts UCLA in front as he drives in Call from second base. And Hocking, who only had 39 at-bats all season coming into today, made the start yesterday. But it has to feel good for the senior. It's been an integral part of this Bruins program for the last 4 years.
Well, there's no question about it. He's had some big hits over his career with the Bruins.
Now back to the top of the order, Dean West. Singled in the first. 2-1 UCLA. The pitch. That's ball one, and you were alluding to before, you rudely interrupted by a double off the wall. Yeah. Kyle Karros, the son of UCLA legend Eric Karros, and Kyle, a terrific player in his own right here for the Bruins. He's also a member of the Colorado Rockies.
He sure is. Played third base for the Bruins. Tall, just like his dad, EK, Eric Karros.
Think they might have a friendly wager? Rumfield and Karros on the game?
Oh, that's hold on, that was on Monday, right after the bracket was placed. Brett Renfroe is a walk away from getting in a big mess with Rock Chalowski on deck.
Called strike, 3-1 on West. And also, I have to imagine the manager's office there in Denver. Not thrilled either. Warren Schaefer is probably that inner struggle, the manager of the Rockies, because he played for Virginia Tech.
Well, that's a big problem.
Ball four to West.
Wow, what a tremendous take. This is a changeup from Renfroe. And again, nobody knows their pitchers better than the pitch caller. In this case, the coach and the pitching coach. And Doug Willey. But it's a real daring pitch to throw on a 3-1 count to Dean West to bring up this youngster with first and second.
And now you've got real trouble. 2 on, 1 out. Rock Chalowski, the hitter. 2 runs in for UCLA. Brett Renfroe. Strike 1.
That location in the dish is where Rock thrives. And we've seen on the inside part up have a little bit vulnerability like most hitters do. But pitchers try to run him on the outside part, and his plate coverage as a hitter is virtually, in my opinion, second to none across the country. We've seen him blast balls the other way out of the yard, and we're talking about line drives to right center off the wall.
The homer by Duggar got this inning started for UCLA. Diving back at second is Jared Hocking.
Look, if Jared got picked off there, his dad would have fined him. Denny Hocking, the great former Minnesota Twin and MLB player.
85 pitches now for Renfroe. 2-1 as he had to overextend himself in the first inning. And then weave his way through the third. Had stressful innings. He did have a 1-2-3 second. That's why you see the pitch count elevated to where it's at. He had a 34 pitch first. And the bullpen has been cranking for the Hokies here. And as you could imagine, as John Savage alluded to it earlier, it's all hands on deck. There is no tomorrow if you lose this game.
No.
Full count on Chalowski.
This is where Rock normally, he'll expand his coverage on the outside part of the plate and just react in.
Full count, 1 out. Brett Renfroe. The pitch. Hit in the air, center field and deep. Gates going back, reaches out for the fence, and makes the catch on the track. Tagging at second. Jared Hocking breaks to third. Staying at first is West. Chalowski, a long fly out to center.
He just misses this thing, and it's all about the location. You can see a little frustration, but his teammates are like telling him, hey, good at bat. And he'll be the first to turn around and watch his teammate LeVou hit. Good base running by Jared Hocking to get over to third base, because you know that Renfroe previously in this game has thrown LeVou a lot of breaking balls.
Runners at the corners, 2 outs. LeVou has walked twice already. And it's ball 1 from Renfroe.
A lot of pressure on Henry Cook, the catcher of the Hokies. He ball in the dirt now because Jared Hocking's over at third base. He needs to make sure he keeps it in front of him.
Mighty cut by Lulavai LeVou. It's 1-1. Preston Crowell is up in the bullpen for Virginia Tech. Runners lead from the corners. The 1-1. Line sharply foul the other way. And it's 1-2 on the Bruins first baseman.
2 outs. Lulavai LeVou. Runners in scoring position. .500 batting average coming in to this game.
Brett Renfroe over 90 pitches now here in the bottom of the 4th, and LeVou lifts this one out of play just beyond the Bruins dugout over toward the bullpen, where Ian May, a lefty, is getting loose.
It's one of those things, and it's not just because we reference 500 with runners scoring position, 2 outs, but guys that drive in runs, historically, it'll tell you they hit much better their batting average with runners in scoring position.
LeVou reaching for it, lines it, and Ethan Ball makes the catch in shallow right as he was stationed back there and almost took the glove with him out to right field. Bruins get on the board. Cashel Duggar the homer, then Jared Hocking the RBI double. And the Bruins take a 2-1 lead as we go to the 5th. Coming up, the head coach of Virginia Tech, John Sheff, next. UCLA getting a pair in the bottom of the 4th. Now the #1 national seed in this elimination game, leading Virginia Tech 2-1 as we go to the 5th. Bottom of the order for the Hokies here against Michael Barnett, Nick Licurdo, Sam Gates, and Owen Petrich. As Brett Renfroe on the mound for Virginia Tech has really had to battle in this one, is weaving his way in and out of innings with that pitch count rising and the pressure that UCLA has been putting on him. And for the most part, he is kept them at bay.
No, he has. That said, it's that first inning that the Bruins extended it past 30 pitches.
We start the 5th, and Nick Licurdo, an RBI single last night for the Hokies, leading it off here against Barnett as the head coach of Virginia Tech. John Sheff joining us from the Hokies dugout here. And a called strike as Sheff shows, or rather as Licurdo shows button. Coach, Brett Renfroe's had to really overextend himself, weaving his way in and out, making some big pitches. What have you seen from your starter?
Well, you know, he's made big pitches when he's had to, for the most part. I mean, I give him a lot of credit. He hadn't pitched in 16 days, so I mean, he's fresh, but he's probably also, you know, not quite as sound as you'd want him to be. But no, he's done a hell of a job for us thus far. Made big pitches when needed, and you know, we got to support him offensively and give him some run support here too. You're not going to beat these guys 1-0 in this ballpark.
Well, John, how long can you go with Renfroe today?
Probably not much longer. We wouldn't go much longer with him anyway, regardless. But you know, they've been taxed innings. He's coming off of a long spurt of being off, so probably not much longer, I wouldn't think.
Coach, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
John Sheff, the head coach of Virginia Tech. 1 out here in the 5th. Here is Sam Gates. Fly out in the 3rd. He is 0 for 1. It's Michael Barnett, the hitter, or the pitcher rather, for UCLA, and squaring And it's high for a ball, and we've seen now 2 consecutive hitters for the Hokies do this. What are they trying to accomplish?
Well, they're trying to get a 1-0 count in my book, and then try to possibly move, in this case, Roman Martin up a little bit closer to get less ground to cover.
Overshift on, in the air to center, playable for Will Gasparino, and he makes the casual one-handed catch. 2 gone here in the 5th, and John Sheff is no stranger to playing a regional in this ballpark, just not with this team. As the head coach for the Hokies, was the head coach at Maryland when you go back to 2015, when the Terps were the 3 seed against the #1 national seed Bruins in the 2015 tournament. And they won the regional when he was the head coach at Maryland in 2015 in this ballpark.
Well, we talked to him a couple days ago, and he said pretty much looks the same. Pretty much looks the same. Obviously good memories because of what you just talked about, Roxy. 5 years he spent at Maryland, and in the ACC 2022 ACC Coach of the Year. One of the good ones across the country is John Sheff.
1-1 on Owen Petrich, who walked and scored in the 3rd. And the ironic twist with that is this regional runs May 29th through June 1st.
Don't tell me it's the same.
Same exact dates that it ran in 2015 when they won here.
Oh.
Called strike, and that was a team that had Lamont Wade on it at Maryland. They had a really balanced, strong club for Maryland that year, as Wade went on to have a nice run in the big leagues, mostly with the Giants, where he had his success. One-two to Petrich, and he just gets a piece of it to stay alive. One and 2 on the Hokies' 3rd baseman. Barnett's retired 6 straight. The only hit he surrendered was the RBI single to Sam Grube in the 3rd. That was preceded by the walk by Petrich with 1 out in the top of the 3rd for the Hokies run. And the overshift on defensively for UCLA with 3 on the left side of the infield, and the first baseman, Mulibai Lavu, is way off the bag. Over near second base, that's the first baseman. Petrich puts a charge into this one. Deep left center. It is going, it is gone, and we've got a tie game. 2-out solo shot, the 6th of the year. And Owen Petrich delivers for the Hokies.
Well,
the 9-hitter on both sides has been a problem.
Back-to-back innings, right? The bottom half and now the top half. Jared Hawking, RBI double for the Bruins. And Owen Petrich takes an off-speed pitch and leaves the yard to left center.
Now a mound visit by Cashel Duggar, who homered for UCLA, but Owen Petrich sends one out to left center past the 370 sign out there. And the 9-hitter, he has scored both runs for the Hokies in this ballgame.
It's a hanging off-speed pitch, and it's up, and these go a long way. And that trip by Cashel Duggar, for me, is just buying the pen a little bit more time. The Bruins are heating up. We heard John Savage, all hands on deck.
One 1-0 on Pete Daniel, who is 0 for 2. In the air, playable out toward left center. Roaming over is Will Gasparino, and he makes the catch to retire the side, but Virginia Tech ties it. Owen Petrich goes deep for the Hokies. We're 2-2 to the home 5th.
Welcome to Squeeze Play. All the highlights, all the big moments.
You got a chance to have some big-time fireworks.
6 to 8 games on the screen at one time.
You're going to be locked in for that.
The season on the line.
Hashtag squeeze play. Send us some tweets. Maybe we'll put you on the social wall.
The storybook season will continue. Squeeze play continues all weekend into Monday for the regionals. Some of the headlines in Tennessee already bounced. They went 0-2. And Southern Miss has their hands full right now with Virginia Tech rival Virginia. And Arizona State, who went deep into the night with Ole Miss in Lincoln last night.
A few hours of sleep.
Oh, for South Dakota State.
Yeah.
Brett Renfro, 94 pitches, and he is done.
Well, we talked to his skipper, John Sheff, and he said probably not much longer. And he was correct. That said, just gave up a couple runs, and he gave his team an opportunity to win this game, and that's all you can ask for from your starter.
Middle third of the order for the Bruins. Here in the fifth, Roman Martin leads it off, 0 for 1 with a walk.
Well, you know what's interesting, Roxy, you see the Volunteers going down. First time ever 0-2 in the tournament. You know they're saying, well, Tony's not here. Tony Vitello is in San Francisco.
Well, the way it's going there, he could come back at some point.
Well, take a look at Preston Crow.
Strike one to Roman Martin. As Crow, he is 8-0 this year. But look at the ERA. All right, take it back. 2-2 with that 7.74 ERA.
Well, you go directly to the 45 and the third innings.
And Martin skies it to right. Over toward the line, Sam Grube fighting the sun, and he finds the baseball, one gone.
And the 25 walks. Because anytime somebody has good arsenal coming out of their arm, and in this case, it's a fastball up to 95, you sit there and you scratch your head all the time. It's across the minor leagues in baseball and across college campuses. When you see their arsenal is elite, and you sit there and you project and go, how's this guy ever get hit? Well, it's that base on ball.
The junior from Franklin County, Virginia. Out of the bullpen here for the Hokies after 4 from Brett Renfro. And Renfro gives up 2 runs on 5 hits. He walked 4. And his first outing, as John Sheff talking about it, in 16 days. He hadn't pitched since the last weekend of the regular season. Did not pitch in the ACC tournament. Gasparino in the air to right. Sam Grube drifting back to the wall. Gone! Home run! UCLA reclaims the lead. 20th for Gasparino. And you think he makes a difference for UCLA?
Well, Bruin fans sure think so, and that entire dugout, and he will get a big greeting. He is 6'7" strong man. This ball is not a bad pitch. It's down in the zone. But this is what bat speed and strength do.
Back in the lineup after the 1-game suspension for that malicious contact ejection in the Big Ten final. And that's sharp on the ground foul from Cashel Duggar, who homered in the 4th. And again, talking to John Savage earlier, you think he's still ticked off he had to serve that suspension?
Well,
jammed. Slow bouncer to short. Charging at Pete Daniel. Throws out Duggar. And there's 2 gone here in the last of the 5th.
this is the home run from Gasparino. The location, keep in mind, you're talking about a 6'7" man, and this is on the bottom. This is knee high.
Trey Godoy, the hitter, he is 0 for 2 after UCLA. The homer from Gasparino. And it's 1-0 on Godoy. A couple of flyouts for the UCLA DH.
We saw that Arizona State score. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention, rest in peace, Bob Horner. We lost him, the first ever winner of the Golden Spikes Award in 1978. He drove in 100 runs in 1978, Roxy. Straight to the big leagues.
Part of that great history that Arizona State has, and
pretty good players. Although I'll say, yeah, they're okay. How's
5
that?
national titles that Arizona State has won.
They're okay. How's that?
That takes a lot for you to admit, being an Arizona Hall of Famer and national champion, and the Wildcats have won 4 themselves. And of course, the breakup of the Pac-12, which UCLA was a part of, they won the national title under John Savage in 2013. Line the other way, and a leaping catch. Owen Petrich at third. Off a solid liner, trying to go the other way was Trey Godoy. The homer by Will Gasparino. And we're through 5 in UCLA, up 3-2. Look at our game track for Game 3 of this Los Angeles Regional Elimination Game. 3-2 UCLA. Solo homers from Cashel Duggar and Will Gasparino, and Owen Petrich has gone deep for the Hokies here today. Just 2 hits for Virginia Tech against Michael Barnett.
Well, the last time the Bruins took the lead, Barnett gave up a home run last inning to Petrich to tie the game, but didn't get the shutdown. This is a big shutdown inning.
Sam Grube, an RBI single in the 3rd. He is 1 for 2. And the pitch from Barnett. That's ball 1, with the bullpen cranking for UCLA right now. And that's been the blueprint for John Savage this year. They have shortened games. Like, remember when the Royals won the World Series about 10 years ago and the way they shortened games? That's the way UCLA has been playing.
Well, Logan Redmond had a lot to do with that from the start of the season, because every time on the weekend series, Logan was going to give the Bruins 6+ innings. So it allowed John Savage to have 2 days to effectively needed 21 innings of pitching.
1-1 on Grube, leading off the 6th. Barnett delivers. Did it go? Yes, on appeal, says Jason Bradley, our third base umpire. And it's 1-2 on Sam Grube. Justin Lee is in the bullpen. So is Landon Stump right now for UCLA.
This is the deepest Barnett has gone in a while.
Ground ball to second. Waiting on a smooth bounce. Phoenix Cole handles it. 1 gone. Stream all MLB out-of-market games live or on demand, all in one place. Check out the ESPN app, your new home for MLB.tv. Now it's Ethan Ball coming up for the Hokies, but Barnett, who's now gone 5 1/3 in his longest outing since March 28th, when he pitched 5 1/3 at Iowa. In a win against the Hawkeyes when UCLA hammered Iowa 19-0.
That's a tough yard to pitch in. The wind always blows out in that yard in Iowa. Take a look at what Michael Barnett has done so far through 5 1/3. Just 1 walk.
No on appeal. 1-1 on Ball. As Barnett, this will be pitch number 75 for the UCLA right-hander. As the Bruins went 28-2, running away with the Big Ten. 51-7 overall, and the #1 national seed. And they were the first, the dubious distinction of becoming the first overall #1 seed to lose their first game in the NCAA tournament with that St. Mary's victory over the Bruins yesterday. Now trying to come back through the losers bracket. And that one's off the front foot of Ball, who goes down to a knee. It is the 27th time, by the way, that we have a #1 versus #2 matchup in an elimination game on day 2. Ball down swinging.
You know, it's interesting about Barnett as we take a look at him. This is a changeup on the outside part, but John Savage, when we talked to him in the dugout interview, what did he say? And he talked a lot about Griffin Ness, the starting pitcher for Cal Poly last night, and how what the similarities are between Barnett and Griffin Ness facing the same team. So the leash in his mind is much longer because they're almost identical.
He really kept the Hokies off balance last night with that changeup and the curve.
I mean, it looks exactly the same as what we saw yesterday from Griffin Ness.
2 gone after the offensive conference. Henry Cook at the plate, the cleanup batter for the Hokies. Barnett, the pitch. And it's strike 1.
And when you think about it, the ACC, not that the conferences across the country don't have power arms that are starting pitchers, but you could lay odds that in the ACC, you're not facing a starter that's fastball's maxing out at 91 a lot of times.
0-2 on Cook. Barnett is about command, keeping you off balance, locating that off speed.
Trifecta.
Keeping the ball down. The 0-2 to Cook. And it's just high. 1-2 the count on the Hokies catcher.
Barnett wanted it. Plate umpire Derek Everett said, not so fast, youngster.
He's been consistent with his zone today. He's been really good behind the plate. 1-2 on Cook. Barnett, the pitch. There it is, strike 3, and a big scream and a pump of the fist. 5 strikeouts for Barnett and a 1-2-3-6. 8, 9, and 1 coming up for the Bruins as we go to the home half of the 6th. Look at our Los Angeles Regional coming up later tonight. The winner's bracket game, the 1-0 game, is the 3 seed, the Mustangs, the Big West Tournament champions Cal Poly, against the WCC Tournament champions St. Mary's. This bracket turned upside down with the 2 upsets we had yesterday, although it's not that much of an upset. Cal Poly is a really good team, and it was upset in really seed only, but if you watch the teams play, Cal Poly and Virginia Tech evenly matched, and Cal Poly got a great pitching performance from Griffin Ness last night.
Well, they did, but very rarely, I was thinking today as I was driving in on the 405, but very rarely do you see a number 4 seed with the 3rd best batting average in the country.
Phoenix Call doubled and scored in the 4th. It's 2-0 on Call leading off the home 6th. And look, you and I talked about it yesterday, and the committee did a disservice to UCLA. When you're the #1 overall seed in the tournament, you should be getting a little bit of a break as far as your first opponent. And St. Mary's is not your run-of-the-mill 4 seed.
No.
They surprised Oregon State, who was the #8 national seed in Corvallis last year. Popped up by Phoenix Call. Third baseman Petrich into foul ground, and Owen Petrich puts it away. 1 gone. Clash in Italy hits tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Catch the first hour live of the WWE event on ESPN and stream the entire event on ESPN app with ESPN Unlimited plan. Cody Rhodes. Clash in Italy coming up Sunday at 2 Eastern.
Clash in Italy. Of course, our regional is matched up with the Morgantown regional. And in the bottom of the 2nd, Kentucky had a comeback win yesterday, up 4-0 on the Mountaineers.
1-0 on Jared Hocking. Preston Crowell bunted past the mound. That'll be a hit, and Hocking has a 2-hit game. He took advantage of where Virginia Tech was playing defensively, and he knew once he got it past the pitcher, he was home free.
You are correct, and this is a high baseball IQ, and from the time that Jared was a youngster, he's been around ballparks because of his father being a longtime major league player. And this right here, and keep in mind, this right here is after a double off the left field wall. So this is playing the game of baseball. It is a game, and you take what your opponent gives you. And Jared took advantage of it right there.
Top of the order, Dean West. Ball one. West has walked and singled. He is 1 for 2.
A lot of times egos get in your mind as a hitter. I just hit one off the wall. I'm going to do it again. No. We're trying to win a baseball game. It's going to take us all to do it, and base runners are how you score runs.
2-0 on West. St. Mary's, 332 as a team, the 3rd best hitting team in the country, and that's who UCLA got as the 4. When you're the #1 overall seed, you're supposed to have somewhat of a cakewalk in that first game.
Again,
somewhat.
We can't say cakewalk because 2 number 4s won yesterday, or actually 3.
Ground ball right side. Ethan Ball goes to second, and that's all they'll get. They get the force on Jared Hocking, the lead runner. And West aboard with 2 outs on the fielder's choice, and now it's Rock Chalowski for UCLA.
There's the Hokie bullpen, double-barreled down there.
Chalowski 1 for 3, singled in the 3rd, a long fly out in the 4th. The pitch, and it's way outside, ball 1. (3-2) UCLA, last of the 6th. Second inning for Preston Crowell. Here it comes. And it's inside, and it's 2-0 on Chalowski. His dad works in the Cincinnati Reds front office. His dad was a terrific player in his own right. Was a first-round draft pick in 1991 by the Cardinals. He never made the big leagues. He made it up to AAA and plateaued there. Dan Chalowski, who is a 3-year standout at Cal, is in the Cal Athletic Hall of Fame.
Well, Rock this year, when you take a look at him, he's hitting .500 with fastballs 94 plus. And for good reason. He hits with his hands, but all hitters have a load. And what I mean is a load, they're going to go back 1, 2, but with his hands.
He was pointing up at the pitch clock. That was that brief conversation with Derek Everett, our plate umpire. You noticed that. As Chalowski takes a strike.
But it's a subtle whip with his hand. It's not, he doesn't go deep with his hands. It's like effectively like a rubber band. You pull a rubber band and he ends up being a whip. If you've ever used a whip, that's what he does with his hands.
And Chalowski draws the walk, 2 on 2 out, and Mulivai Lavu coming up for the Bruins. Lavu has walked twice and lined out. He is 0 for 1.
You just get the sense he's due, right? Now, that said, you know me, Brox, nobody's due, right? Because it's a game of baseball.
Slugger for the Bruins in the box, and Lavu takes ball 1.
One of my mentors in pro ball, he coaches Matt Galante, coached with the Astros and the Mets. He used to tell me, hey, Clemmy, how many times, what kind of chance do you have to get a hit in this at bat? And of course, me being the tactician I am, thinking I'm going to look at my average, right? I'm around 300, so I got 3 out of 10. He looked at me and goes, you either get one or not. It's 50-50.
You either get one or you don't.
Yeah.
So the numbers there, the Bruins just 1 for 24 with runners on base in this regional. Back to the bag, Dean West.
A lot of 500s. We talk about batting average. Lavu, 500, 2 outs, runners in scoring position.
Here comes the 2-0. Lavu out of play.
That's just location. Lavu being aggressive on a 2-0 count. The pitch was just high enough that Lavu couldn't get any extension on it. A little bit lower, ball goes a long way.
2-1. Crowell the pitch, and Lavu got under this one. A towering fly to left. Nick Licurdo toward the alleyway, puts it away. Side retired. 1 hit, 2 left for UCLA. We're headed to the 7th. 1-run ball game, elimination game at the Los Angeles Regional. Well, national seeds facing elimination today. And Auburn leading NC State. Down in Tallahassee, Coastal Carolina and Florida State have resumed play after a rain delay. Weather has just been an issue in the Southeast. Southern Miss now trailing. They're in deep, deep trouble against UVA. And here it's 3-2 UCLA as we go to the 7th, the #1 national seed. Weather, not a problem in LA. Ethan Gibson leads off the 7th as Michael Barnett still going for UCLA. 5, 6, and 7 for the Hokies here. Chasing a run. Hudson Luderman, Nick Licurdo to follow against Barnett here in the 7th. 82 pitches now for Barnett. This is hooked toward foul ground and out of play as the flamethrower Cal Randall loosening in the UCLA bullpen.
Well, I
see him right there on the mound.
Excuse me, Rock, but I think John is going to try to milk Michael Barnett hitter by hitter. And he has Cal Randall up in the pen and Zach Strickland's right next to him. And throughout the year,
1-1 pitch fouled back by Gibson.
the plan has been with a lead, Randall in the 7th, Strickland in the 8th, and Ethan Hawke, one of the best closers in the country, in the 9th. But Michael Barnett can change that plan if he can get through this inning.
I know you perceive yourself as an actor, but Easton Hawke is the pitcher. You're thinking Ethan, the wonderful actor.
You know, if only the viewers could see my face. And no. Take a look at Michael Barnett's line so far through 6 innings. And I think what's really the most important thing is just that one walk.
That walk scored. Back in the 3rd inning when Owen Petrich drew a walk and scored on the hit by Sam Groove as it just missed to Ethan Gibson. And a full count on the first baseman for the Hokies leading off the 7th. And Petrich also homered. He's been the trouble spot for Barnett today.
This ball's got to be right down the middle. Hope he hits it to somebody.
In the air to center. Going back is Gasparino. Still going back to the track. Leaps. It is gone. The game is tied. Ethan Gibson, his 8th home run. Took it out to the deepest part of the ballpark, and Ethan Gibson has tied the game for the Hokies.
Well, that's exactly what they did on a 3-2 count. They threw a fastball middle. Ethan Gibson did not miss it. And Bruins are going to make a pitching change as we take a look at where this location of this fastball was. Up, and Gibson did not miss it.
Dead center off the batter's eye, and Ethan Gibson is not in this game at 3. And Michael Barnett's afternoon is done. Elimination game. The Hokies have tied it here in the 7th. Michael Barnett lifted after the solo shot to lead off the 7th by Ethan Gibson. And we are 3-3 in the 7th, and it's turned over to Cal Randall in this lights-out UCLA bullpen. The #1 pitching staff in America. And that's ball 1 from Randall, the flamethrower, 99 off the outside. Randall 3-0 with a save. 6'4" junior from Discovery Bay up in Northern California. 3.10 ERA, 53 strikeouts in 29 innings. And it's 2-0 on Hudson Luderman, who is 0 for 2.
This is all of a sudden a 3-inning ball game, Roxy.
Cal Randall, the pitch, and it's 3-0 as he missed wide. 98 from Randall, who threw an inning yesterday with 2 strikeouts, gave up a hit against St. Mary's. Barnett going 6, giving up 3 hits and 3 runs. Struck out 5, walked 1. And it's ball 4, and Cal Randall has walked Hudson Luderman on 4. And now a base runner for Nick Lucardo.
Well, Kurt Elbin is the third base coach and hitting coach for the Hokies, and he runs a large portion of the offense with some input from head coach John Sheff. You just wonder, with them being in the 7-hole with Lucardo coming up, if they want to bunt over the runner.
Lucardo, a couple of groundouts. He is 0 for 2. There is a strike from Randall right through the heart of the plate. You had to make him throw a strike. Take a pitch, right? Really?
Not if we're bunting. If you're going to bunt, you bunt a strike.
Did he go? Yes, he went around, according to Derek Everett, our plate umpire. 0-2 on Nick Lucardo.
You get a look at it. You viewers at home want to be an umpire? You make the call. Very good call.
Luderman, the runner at first, dealing with that ankle injury, which we talked about earlier. As Randall misses high, Lucardo does not have a sacrifice bunt on the season. There is a heavily taped right ankle of Hudson Luderman, the runner at first. Randall, the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, you mentioned the bad ankle. That's bad on me, because you're not going to try to bunt somebody that can't run very well over to second base.
There is Luderman. The pitch. And it's full as Randall missed low. And a full count now on Nick Lucardo. Nobody out in the 7th of this 3-3 game. Elimination game. The winner advances to tomorrow. The loser, their season is over. Fouled away by Lucardo.
It's at 98 right there, but this has to be, if you're a Bruin fan, this has to be a punch out or a ground ball. It can ill afford a free pass here and give the Hokies 1st and 2nd with no outs.
Chopped toward first. Lavu backs up on it and fields. He'll race to the bag and beat Nick Lucardo. That was a really good play at first base by Mulavai Lavu to get the out. Hudson Luderman gets to second. And that was just chopped right into the hard infield dirt in front of the plate.
And the sun. The sun is also what LeVou is fighting. And to your point, Roxy, it's a tremendous play. It looks simple, but he's fighting the sun. Hokies with the winning run, go-ahead run, I should say, at second base.
Dare I say he was playing with fire over there?
Well, there you go. Why wouldn't you?
Sam Gates 0 for 2. The pitch. And it's strike one. A couple of flyouts for Gates. And if you were watching earlier, you saw the fire dance that
Siviafi is what they call it. It's a Samoan fire dance. And
LeVou does.
Yes, he does. His uncle teaches it in Orange County.
One strike pitch from Randall. Darts the outside corner. 97 and it's 0-2. And UCLA in danger. Only 2 top 4 national seeds have ever gone 0-2 in regionals. And it hasn't been done since when in 2014, 2-seed Florida. On appeal, no, he didn't swing. But the Gators in 2014 with a 2-seed, they went 0-2. Georgia Tech was the number 3 national seed in 2003, and they went 0-2. That's since this format was adopted in 1999. In the air, out of play off the bat of Gates, and we'll do it again. And prior to this 64-team tournament with 16 4-team regionals, there were 48 teams in the field, and there were 8 6-team regionals that you had to navigate through. This was the last time UCLA lost back-to-back games, when they were eliminated in Omaha last June. Jet swing, did it go? Yes, he went around an appeal. And Gates in disbelief. 2 gone here in the 7th.
Jason Bradley, third base umpire. Get a look at this. A bit tough to see from there, but this is the best look we're going to get. And if I was a Hokie fan, I'd be a little bit upset as well.
Owen Penrich, the hitter, he homered in the 5th. Hudson Luderman at second, 2 down. And it's strike one from Randall. That one, 98 from Cal Randall.
Penrich has been in the middle of a lot of good stuff for the Hokies today.
He scored 2 runs. He's walked and homered. And it's upstairs 1-1.
This has been nothing but dead red fastballs from Cal Randall the entire time, and he understands. You can see that he's literally, this is max effort.
Bottom of the zone, called strike. 1-2 on Penrich. Randall facing with runners on base. Opponents are hitting just 102 against Randall this year. Fouled away by Penrich.
It's pretty good. $1-2.
One and 2, the count on Owen Penrich. Hudson Luderman, the runner, at second. Cal Randall delivers. Swing and a miss, elevating. Strikes him out, 97. A couple of strikeouts, and Randall. Emotions from the UCLA reliever. But Virginia Tech ties it. Ethan Gibson goes deep. We're 3-3, stretching at Jackie Robinson Stadium. Elimination game in Los Angeles. 3-3 to the bottom of the 7th. We've had solo homers on both sides, a pair of them. Cashel Duggar for UCLA, hitting his 5th of the year. The Bruins catcher tying the game at 1 in the 4th. And then Owen Penrich for Virginia Tech goes big fly to tie the game at 2 in the top of the 5th. Answered in the bottom of the 5th, though. Will Gasparino's 20th of the year, and was 3-2 UCLA until the 7th. Ethan Gibson leading off the frame. And Ethan Gibson ties it with his 8th of the year. And we are 3-3 to the bottom of the 7th inning at Jackie Robinson Stadium. With Wes Clements and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. Middle third of the order for the Bruins here. The #1 national seed. It'll be Roman Martin, Will Gasparino, and Cashel Duggar against Griffin Stig out of the bullpen for the Hokies. The starter majority of the season, Stig. And he fires a fastball for a strike to Martin, who is 0 for 2 of the walk. In fact, this is Stig's first relief appearance of the year. Hard throwing righty. And it's 1-1 on Martin. And Stig coming on in relief here, the 3rd pitcher for the Hokies today.
Well, his last 4 outings, 12 innings pitched, 22 earned runs, 12 walks.
Hit sharply on the ground. To his right toward the hole. Pete Daniel at short. And he gets Roman Martin at first, out #1. The Women's College World Series continues tonight in Oklahoma City. The top seed, Alabama, takes on #4 Nebraska at 7 on ESPN. Catch all the action either on ESPN or you can stream it on the ESPN app. Women's College World Series continuing in Oklahoma City. UCLA, Kelly Anui Perez leading the UCLA program to Oklahoma City. Here is Will Gasparino, homered in the 5th, and he grounds it to short. Routine for Pete Daniel, and 2 quick outs for Griffin Stig to open up the bottom of the 7th. Now it's Cashel Duggar, the Bruins catcher, who homered back in the 4th. And Stig coming out of the bullpen here. And interesting that this is where John Sheff went, but it goes to show you, John Savage alluded to it, yeah. We can't worry about tomorrow. We need to win right now. And it's in there for a strike from Stig.
Well, when you think about it, you just talked about he has to come out of the pen. Well, it changes his mentality. Hey, I'll give you all I got in a short amount of period. He's not holding anything back.
Stig, his 4th year at Virginia Tech. He pitched 2 years, or the majority of 2 years, but his sophomore year he injured his arm and needed Tommy John. And coming back from that, has taken the ball every weekend for the Hokies this year. And he nearly transferred out as he went into the portal briefly and committed to Alabama, then did the 180 and returned to Virginia Tech. Two and 1 the count on Cashel Duggar. Stig, the pitch. Fouled off the other way.
Crimson Tide, Hokie. I'll be a Hokie.
Well, he's from the area, so he's comes from a close-knit family. And Stig from McLean, Virginia, electing to return. And he went through a lot personally off the field. His brother Drew, who played college baseball, tragically passed away. And Griffin Stig, that's part of the reason he returned to Virginia Tech, the great support system that he has, close to his family. And he's tried to turn it into a positive, and he honors his brother. That's the jersey of his brother Drew. And he wears it. You can see the black underneath his gray top. That's Drew Stig's jersey he wears under his own. That of his brother's. Strike 3 called, and Stig a 1-2-3-7. Impressive out of the bullpen, his first relief appearance of the year. 3-3 to the 8, top of the order coming up for the Hokies. It is the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. We are 3-3 to the 8th elimination game between the top 2 seeds in the Los Angeles Regional Game 3 from Jackie Robinson Stadium. 2 solo homers aside. Top of the order for the Hokies here in the 8th. Zach Strickland out of the bullpen for the Bruins. And the freshman delivers ball 1 to Pete Daniel, who is 0 for 3.
Zach has been sensational for the Bruins as a freshman, and John Savage has trusted him in the 8-hole. 8th inning. Normally is pitching when the game's tied or they have a lead.
2-0 the count. Strickland 6-1 with a save and a 2.65 ERA. As Strickland pitched a 1-2-3 8th against St. Mary's yesterday with a strikeout. The 2-0 to Daniel, and that's a strike. 2-1. Shortstop for the Hokies. Strickland, the pitch. 2-2. Right on the inside edge of the knees.
Well, his fastball is going to vary from 92 all the way up to 97, which is why what I think makes him so effective.
Hit sharply. Diving stop by Chalowski. And robbed of a hit, Pete Daniel. Highlight reel play again from Rock Chalowski.
Well, the Bruins in the biggest game of the year, tied in the 8th inning, and their best player does this. The all-important leadoff hitter for the Hokies, and Rock says, not now, with the smile. And it's just synonymous with Rock. He loves the game of baseball.
1 out, Sam Grube, 1 for 3 with an RBI. And he takes ball 1. Top of the order has struggled for the Hokies today. They're a combined 1 for 12. Hitters 1 through 4 with 5 strikeouts. Owen Petrich out of the 9 spot has been a problem for UCLA.
Well, he has, but we talk about this every year. If you're going to advance in regionals, supers, or win the College World Series, you need contributions from your entire lineup, and it'll come from players you least expected.
Fouled away, it's 2-1.
You think about this yard here and what we've seen during the day, Roxy. Ball's going up in the air to right field with that wind blowing. It's hard not to think that a home run could win this game.
Each side has hit 2 so far. And a called strike evens the count on Sam Grube. Two and 2, 1 out in the 8th. Grube, that RBI single back in the 3rd inning, gave Virginia Tech the initial lead today of 1-0. And the 2-2. Strike 3 call. Bottom of the zone, and there's 2 gone.
If you ever want to know what a perfect located slider to a left-hander is, this is what it looks like. This is inside corner at the knees, immaculate location. Real good job by Duggar behind the dish. Give plate umpire Derek Everett a better look at it. Big second out.
Now it's the dangerous Ethan Ball at the plate. 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. And he drives one to right. Going back on it is Hawking at the track. It's gone! Home run! Virginia Tech has the lead.
Let's go, baby!
17 for Ethan Ball. 4-3 Hokies in the 8th. Now it's Henry Cook for Virginia Tech. And other than the Hokie fans here at Jackie Robinson Stadium, this place is stunned right now.
Well, it is, and we talked about Strickland's immaculate slider down and in for the strikeout. This was an off-speed pitch, the same pitch, but it was middle to one of the best freshmen in the entire country, and he didn't miss it.
1-1 on Henry Cook. Ethan Ball, a third solo homer for Virginia Tech in the game, the 5th total in this game, and it gives Virginia Tech the lead here in the 8th. The 1-1. It's a strike. Let's go. 1-2 on Henry Cook. The homer by Ball and the lead for Virginia Tech. The pitch. And tipped in the glove of the catcher Duggar. Striking out is Cook, but Virginia Tech goes back on top, and it's Ethan Ball who's done it time and time again for the Hokies this season, and the freshman in the biggest game of the year facing elimination against the #1 team in the country, and it gives the Hokies a 4-3 lead. Well, a deficit now here in the bottom of the 8th as the Bruins have the most comeback wins in the country, and they're going to need to do it again to keep their season alive. Bottom of the order in the last of the 8th against Griffin Stig. The homer from Ethan Ball putting Virginia Tech in the lead, and it's a called strike to Trey Godoy leading off the home 8th for the Bruins.
It's a little bit different look in the Bruins dugout right now. What's the difference? Well, earlier in the year there was another game. They don't win here, their season is over.
And a hit by pitch and a start for UCLA in the bottom of the 8th. The NCAA Regionals coverage for all 16 sites continues tonight, tomorrow, and into Monday if necessary on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all NCAA championships. There's the Cal Poly Mustangs over there. And right in the middle is Griffin Ness. I can see him there. He's got the dig me look today.
Yeah, well, he does. Got the hat.
It is a dig me day for him because of the way he shoved last night for the Mustangs.
Well, he's got the good hair, good flow up there. I'm a little jealous.
Pinch runner for UCLA. They will run for Godoy, who was hit by a pitch. And running at first is David Miza, who we saw yesterday come into play second base.
And Bryant Ward runs the Bruins offense, and quite sure that he's going to ask Phoenix Call, as he has done in the game yesterday, try to bunt the runner over to second and hand off the baton to Jared Hawking in the 9-hole and flip it to Dean West.
I need to clarify, when it's a dig me day, that's because he was the dominant pitcher last night. And so today he's not available, but everybody else can feed off his aura and dig him because of what he did last night for Cal Poly. Squaring his call, it's ball 1. Call doubled and scored back in the 4th.
I've never been in that position in my life, so I have no idea what that's like.
I learned that expression from Randy Flores. Because Randy, the former All-American, the USC Hall of Famer, now an assistant GM with the Cardinals. Former big league pitcher as well as Stig turns to first, and diving back is the pinch runner Miza. He had a lot of those days where his teammates could dig him the next day because he was a dominant starter, the all-time wins leader across town for USC.
He sure was.
Creeping up at third is Owen Petrich. And it's ball 2 to call as Stig missing the zone here.
Okay, last inning you said you take in a bunt situation hypothetically on a 3-0 count. This one right now, what we're seeing from Stig right now is zero command. So the answer is yes.
bunts, but it's foul from Phoenix Call. And it's 2-1 on the Bruins second baseman, who leads UCLA with 9 sacrifice bunts this season. Two balls and a strike on call. There's the pinch runner, David Miza, at first. Activity behind him in the Virginia Tech bullpen.
When you start to count outs now, if you're the Bruins. Now, Brock Chalowski told us we don't count outs, but it's impossible at this situation. You lose the game, your season's over.
Call gets it down toward first. Griffin Stig, the pitcher, fields it. Another hands for the out. Call advances the runner, Miza, and the tying run at second base with 1 out here in the last of the 8th.
It's a textbook sacrifice bunt from Call. Runner at first works best if you bunt it to the first base side.
They're going to pinch hit for Jared Hocking here. With 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, the 9-hitter Hocking 2 for 3 today with an RBI. He doubled off the wall in the 4th inning, but he's getting lifted here for Aiden Espinosa pinch hitting for UCLA.
And Bruin fans will remember what Aiden Espinosa did in the Big Ten championship game against the Ducks with 2 outs and a runner at second. He got a base hit to center field to tie the game, and the Bruins went on to win that game.
342 for Espinosa and 38 at-bats this year. No homers. He has driven in 10. And the sophomore Espinosa at the plate. The tying run, David Miza at second. Griffin Stig, the pitch. And it's a called strike. Good fastball from Stig. 94.
There's so much involved here. Your third base coach for the Bruins is Jake Palmer. A lot of pressure on him. Whether he sends Miza on a base hit, needs to check where the outfielders are for the Hokies. Be aware of Dean West on deck.
Outfield is playing somewhat deep all the way around.
They are.
A single to the outfield, they'll have a tough time trying to gun down the pinch runner, David Miza, out there at second. Then you see Ball out in shallow right, the second baseman. As his homer right now is the difference for Virginia Tech.
No.
And Espinosa gets hit by a pitch. Stig, that's the second batter he has hit here in the inning. And it'll go back to the top and Dean West for UCLA.
Let's go, baby.
This is just a slider that Stig hung on to too much, and it's a second hitter that he's really yanked a slide piece right into their legs.
And the hit by pitch was big for UCLA at the Big Ten tournament, and they had a walk-off hit by pitch in the 11th inning to beat Oregon, and a controversial hit by pitch to Phoenix Call that was the difference. As a mound visit, here comes Doug Willie, the pitching coach for Virginia Tech, as Ethan Grimm, who we saw last night, tuning up along with Madden Clement.
Well, this is when the game starts going fast for both sides. It's how the athletes handle it. The best ones embrace it, and on the other side of embracing it is making yourself aware, yeah, this is a different situation right now. You need to somehow calm down your nerves. And again, like I said, it goes on both sides.
And that'll be it for Stig. Virginia Tech will go to the bullpen with West hitting now for UCLA. And they will summon the lefty, Madden Clement, to come in here with 2 on and 1 out, nursing a 1-run lead in the last of the 8th. Huge spot in this ball game and the season for both the Hokies and the Bruins. We've had 5 home runs, all solo in this game. And And that's the difference in Virginia Tech with 3 of them. The first one hit by Cashel Duggar for UCLA to tie the game in the 4th at 1. And then it was a homer by Owen Petridge, his 6th of the year in the 5th. And that tied it for Virginia Tech at 2. Then the bottom of the 5th, UCLA and Will Gasparino came right back, and it was 3-2 Bruins, the 20th of the year for Gasparino. Then in the 7th, against Michael Barnett, leading off the frame, Ethan Gibson tied the game, his 8th of the year. And it was 3-3 going to the 8th, and then with 2 outs in the 8th, Ethan Ball, the home run leader for Virginia Tech, hits his 17th. And that giving the Hokies a 4-3 lead. As we're in the bottom of the 8th, UCLA with 2 on, 1 out. And the new pitcher for the Hokies coming in is the lefty, Madden Clement, facing Dean West, the top of the order for the Bruins.
Well, I tell you what, yes, the time runs out at second base for the Bruins, but you have a left-handed pitcher on the mound who's going to fall off to the third base side. We've seen Dean West bunt in situations like this.
Strike 1. It's Dean West, 1 for 3. He's also walked today.
Owen Petridge is way deep at third.
2 hit by pitches in the inning. 2 base runners for UCLA. Clement, the 1-strike pitch, and West in the air, shallow left, over and in toward the line. Nick Licurdo still charging, and he makes the catch that slides. Runners scamper back, there's 2 gone.
Well, you start thinking, we talked about counting outs, and Nick Licurdo makes a very good play in left field for a big second out of the bottom of the 8th here. You start thinking about Rock Chalowski. This could be his last collegiate at-bat for the UCLA Bruins if they don't come back.
Nick Licurdo covered a lot of ground. Chalowski 1 for 3. He's also walked in the game. Single back in the 3rd. Skies this one. Shallow center, behind second, going out is Pete Daniel, and Daniel puts it away. And Madden Clement escapes the jam, strands 2. We go to the 9th, 4-3 Hokies. The NCAA Baseball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? The #1 national seed is on the ropes, in danger of going 0-2, eliminated from the tournament. Along with Wes Clements and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein with you, and the UCLA Bruins 51-7 coming in, but here they are, Wes, potentially 3 outs left in their season.
It is quite amazing, and if the Bruins don't come back to tie this game up, it's going to arguably be the biggest upset in the history of regionals.
They lost last night to the 4 seed, becoming the first #1 national seed to lose their opening game in a tournament, and staring elimination in the face today against the 2 seed as Virginia Tech lost to Cal Poly last night. And now they trail 4-3 as we go to the 9th. Ethan Gibson, Hudson Luderman, Nick Licurdo due up. 5, 6, and 7 against Easton Hawk out of the bullpen. And Hawk suffered the loss yesterday, giving up the homer to Jacob Johnson in the 9th that won the game for St. Mary's. It was a solo homer yesterday that was the problem in the 9th. Right now, the homer by Ball in the 8th is a liner to right, slicing, and it gets down, and trouble with it, and picked up on the warning track. Out there and right by Phoenix Call, shifting from second base to play right field, and Ethan Gibson doubles the other way. He homered in the 7th, and now a runner at second with nobody out.
You mentioned a home run and a previous at-bat, and this is a fastball. It's good. It's on the outside part, but Gibson just hits it the other way, ends up on second, and big time advantage Hokies right now. Runner at second and no outs, already with a 1-run lead.
#1 national seeds that have lost in a regional. And UCLA, unfortunately, the Bruins have been here before, when in 2015 it was Virginia Tech coach John Sheff at the time guiding Maryland to knock off UCLA in 2015. Oregon State the year before, legendary Pat Casey's team was upended in Corvallis. Of course, Pat Casey engineering 3 national titles. John Savage has won one here, but UCLA trying not to join that list of the previous #1 overall seeds to lose in the regional round.
Now the Hokies had an offensive conversation there, just wondering they might want to bunt the run over to third base, force the Bruins to play the infield end.
Luderman has 1 sacrifice this season, and he takes ball 1 low from Easton Hawk.
And Luderman can swing the bat, there's no question about it, but when you're already have a 1-run lead and you can force your opponent to play the infield in with a runner in third and less than 2, take advantage of it.
Hawk, the 1-0 to Luderman, and it's 2-0. That is an enormous run out there at second base. If you can make this a 2-run ball game, instead of a 1-run lead, trying to protect in the bottom of the 9th. Called strike to Luderman. That changes the entire complexion of the bottom of the 9th.
There's no question, because then the Bruins have to get somebody on to get the tying run up to the dish.
3-1 on Luderman.
A ball away are the Bruins from being in a gigantic mess.
By the way, the homer by Ball, his 17th, ties for the most among freshmen in college baseball this year. Teddy Tokheim of Stanford has 17, and Josiah Overbeek from Army also with 17 homers. And Ball's 17th, giving Virginia Tech the lead. The other way to right, toward the line, that falls in for Luderman and a hit. Rounding third, Gibson. Phoenix Call throws into second base. Luderman dives across despite no throw, and it's 5-3 Virginia Tech. Back-to-back doubles. Ethan Gibson, now Hudson Luderman.
Offensive coach and third base coach Kurt Elbin had given Luderman the bunt, and he took it off. And just like that, the Bruins are chasing 2.
John Savage out to the mound, the head coach of UCLA.
Well, by having Luderman square on the first couple pitches of the at-bat, it forces John Savage to have Hawk throw a fastball, because you assume that's what they're wanting to do. And the Hokies take off the bunt, and Luderman, this is just great fundamental hitting and situational hitting with the runner at second and no outs by Luderman.
Back-to-back doubles in the 9th, and it's a 5-3 lead for Virginia Tech. There's still nobody out, and now it's Nick Licurdo for the Hokies, and they will run for Luderman at first. And again, Luderman has been dealing with that ankle injury, and it's Micah Jordan running at first.
And this is another bunt situation for the Hokies, because you have the left-handed Sam Gates on deck. And for the Hokies, with Luderman being the DH, this is all about trying to get a runner to second base in scoring position.
Licurdo does not have a sac bunt this year. So Back-to-back hits, a runner at first. And the RBI making it 5-3.
Roman Martin, the third baseman for the Bruins, forced to play a step away from the grass.
Licurdo. And he did not offer. It's ball one.
Well, you see what John Savage did there. He calls the pitcher for the Bruins. Rather than throwing the fastball, he threw a breaking pitch just to find out what the intentions are of the Hokies.
Bunted at and missed by Licurdo. It's 1-1. So call move from second to right, and the new second baseman is Aiden Aguayo for UCLA. And he was in the original lineup yesterday, but was scratched as he was injured pregame warming up. But now in the ballgame here in the ninth, as Licurdo did not offer on appeal. Says Kyle Nickel, our first base umpire. It's 2-1.
Get a look at this. Licurdo's saying, no, I didn't swing. It almost looks like he barked at that a little bit.
Not showing bunt. It's a strike. How much of it came from John Sheff and Kurt Elbin that Licurdo didn't look comfortable trying to bunt?
Well, to your point, he is yet to sack the entire year. And I think it had more to do with the adjustment John Savage made from the last at-bat, throwing all fastballs with a bunter, to now all sliders from Ethan Hawke.
Full count on Nick Licurdo. The pitch. That's fought off, and we'll do it again. Full count, nobody out. Runner goes, ground ball to third. And that is a fair ball fielded right over the bag, and a great dig at first by Mulivai Lavu as Roman Martin fielding the ball right around the third base bag with a difficult play for out number one.
Well, it's a good play by Roman at third, but an elite play by Mulivai Lavu at first base. If he doesn't pick this ball at first, the Hokies will have runners at second and third with no outs. The backside of this pick right here gets out fundamentally sound, extends his glove, opens it wide open.
Now it's Sam Gates, who's 0 for 3. The center fielder fouls it straight back. Please don't tell me, oh, I used to do it that way at first base.
I would never. Trust me. Look, I'm the guy that when a pop-up went up, the whole dugout wanted to know if it's going to hit me in the head.
Easton Hawke, the one-strike pitch, and it's 0-2.
Good changeup from Easton.
Oh, and 2 on Gates. Micah Jordan at second, and Hawke gets the strikeout for the changeup, and there's 2 gone.
Well, this is another changeup, back-to-back changeups, and watch the bottom drop out of this.
Now the 9-hitter Owen Petrich, who has homered and scored 2 runs today. 2 down, top of the 9th. Jordan running at second, and it's strike 1, a mighty cut by Petrich. With this overshift on by UCLA. 3 Bruins on the left side of the diamond, and Lavu, the first baseman, is halfway in between first and second, and he's playing up.
Well, the Bruins have done this yesterday as well against Johnson of St. Mary's, who ended up hitting the ball, leaving the yard twice the other way. But what I do think is interesting, when you have speed out at second base like the Hokies do, you're the Bruins, you're already chasing 2. The outfield is very, very deep. And at some point in time, you got to roll the dice. Do you roll the dice and you're concerned about Petric hitting the ball deep? Or if he gets a hit, you got to give yourself a chance to throw out the runner. Chasing 2 is already bad enough. You're chasing 3.
Off the end of the bat. If you're looking to the bottom of the 9th, heart of the order due for UCLA. Levu, Roman Martin, Will Gasparino.
Let's go, Easton, one more, man. Get down his knee. Let's go, man. Let's keep this guy down.
Top of the order, Pete Daniel would be next for the Hokies. Micah Jordan at second. The pitch, and that's fouled straight back by Petric. He was on that. 96 from Easton Hawk.
Well, forget that he's in the 9 hole. When a hitter's locked in, he's locked in. It's a feeling of confidence.
Strike 3 call, bottom of the zone. Hawk with the strikeout. Petric in disagreement. We're going to the bottom of the 9th. A 2-run lead for Virginia Tech. Heart of the order coming. The #1 national seed in real trouble. The inability of the UCLA offense to get going right now is the story for them. They are just 1 for 27 with runners on base in this regional. And now they're chasing 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th with their season on the line in an elimination game against Virginia Tech.
They have not had this feeling the entire year. You lose now and you go home.
Madden Clement trying to close it out for the Hokies. Heart of the order for the Bruins, Levu, Roman Martin, Will Gasparino in the bottom of the 9th. And it's ball 1 to Levu, who has walked twice. He is 0 for 2 today.
And it all starts with this leadoff hitter in Levu. He reaches. This crowd will start to feel it. The dugout will start to feel it.
Called strike to Levu. Clement, who has been a starter most of the season. Just his 3rd relief appearance, but coming in, Clement had thrown only 13 innings all season and didn't debut this year until April 7th. A junior from Butler, Pennsylvania. And it's 2-1 on Levu.
This is where Mulevi just turns in arguably to a leadoff hitter. That's all he's trying to do is reach base.
UCLA just trying to get the tying run to the plate. Levu fouls it away. It's 2-2.
Real good pitch by Clement in on the hands of Levu.
5 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Hokies. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Bruins have stranded 11 runners already today. Fought off by Levu.
You can see it's a different at bat. Levu ordinarily, he's not swinging at that pitch. That's an up and in ball. But again, we talked about it. This is a different mental and emotion for the Bruins right now.
Last time Virginia Tech beat the #1 team in the country, they beat Wake Forest back in 2023. Levu drives one deep right field. Going, gone, towering home run. An absolute no-doubter. Levu is 18th of the year, and it's now a 1-run game.
It's a breaking pitch from Clement, and Levu turned into a leadoff hitter. That's as short a swing as you're ever going to see on a breaking pitch.
Now it's Roman Martin, 0 for 3 with a walk. Strike 1, he's trying to tie the game.
And then you go back to that big second run that you talked about in the previous inning, the hit from Luderman. The Bruins have been the comeback kids of college baseball in 2026.
They had to do it in each of their 3 wins in Omaha at the Big Ten tournament last week and walked them all off.
This pitch, wow. This is a pitch that Roman is thinking, my goodness, if I could have squared up that one. Chalowski won't have any nails when this game ends, regardless if they win or lose. John Sheff hoping for one of the biggest wins he's had in his career.
0-2 on Martin. Martin homered against St. Mary's here yesterday. The pitch. Popped up. This will get out of play.
Roman's happy zone is down. It's middle and down.
Madden Clement trying to close it out. And it just missed with a breaking ball. He held the follow through thinking he made his pitch.
He did. It's around the corner. Henry Cook, the Hokies catcher, did a good job to bring it back in.
Go.
Martin, deep left field, going! Tie game! Back to back for UCLA. Unbelievable.
But it's baseball. And this is why we're going to take a look at both of these home runs. Mulavai Lavu, 2-strike, turned in that leadoff hitter. It's a breaking pitch from Clement, short, out of the yard. We talked about Roman Martin. Clement threw a couple high fastballs that Martin fouled off. As we take a look at the second look at Lavu's home run, but Martin's at bat. Clement had thrown fastballs up in the zone that Roman just missed, and we talked about Roman's happy zone. It's down, and it's right there, and Roman didn't miss it, and Clement knew it.
Second home run of the regional for Roman Martin, his 9th of the year. And UCLA stunning Virginia Tech, going back-to-back to lead off the bottom of the 9th. And we are now tied, and the Hokies go to the bullpen to bring in Ethan Grimm after Lavu and Martin go back-to-back to tie it for the Bruins. We alluded to the Big Ten tournament, what UCLA did last weekend against Purdue, USC, and then Oregon in the quarters, semis, and the final. This was the quarters against the Boilermakers, and it was Mulavai Lavu with a sac fly. That brought in Jared Hocking, and UCLA walked them off in the quarters. Into the semis, it was Lavu again, and the home run that won it. That put UCLA in the Big Ten final against Oregon. And it was the walk-off hit by pitch Phoenix call. Still some question if it hit him, but it brought in the winning run, and that's how UCLA won the Big Ten tournament.
Well, it did. Phoenix call, to his defense, he went directly to his helmet when that ball went past him. But, I mean, we say it all the time. And the viewers know this is the best game in the world, and this is why.
Ethan Grimm pitched here last night against Cal Poly. He takes over. The freshman pitched 2 innings last night, giving up 2 runs to the Mustangs. And now facing Will Gasparino in a tie game, nobody out. And it's ball 1 to Gasparino, who homered himself back in the 5th inning.
Might we ever see a back-to-back game end? Wow.
4 solo homers for UCLA in this one. Called strike to Gasparino. Virginia Tech was 26-0 when leading after 8 coming into this game. And they've given up that 2-run lead. We are now tied. Gasparino lifts it back out of play.
That's Gasparino's happy zone, as that pitch he just fouled off. Let's take a look at skipper John Shep. The Hokies, Rock Chalowski.
One and 2 on Gasparino. Bat goes flying. The baseball near second base. Pete Daniel not in time. The winning run is on for UCLA. Infield hit and the speed of Will Gasparino, and he is aboard.
Well, it is, because Pete Daniel is going to play a little bit deeper with Gasparino with his power to extend his range. Gasparino didn't hit this ball hard. He got jammed a little bit. Daniel does a good job to get to it up the middle, but to your point, Roxy, Gasparino, it just got too much wheels for him.
Runner at first. Cashel Duggar homered back in the 4th. Pops up the bunt. This will get back to the screen. It's 0-1.
This is Bryant Ward, the offensive coach for the Bruins, asking his left-handed Duggar to bunt over Gasparino and hand off the baton.
No sack bunts this year for Cashel Duggar, and he is 1 for 4 in the ball game.
And it looked like it. Once you get that barrel beneath the ball as a bunter, it's nothing good's going to happen, and that's what we saw on the first foul ball from Duggar.
Let's go, Cash. You got this, Cash.
7 of the 10 runs scored in this game on solo homers. Ball 2 to Cashel Duggar.
Boy, is that a good take by Duggar. It's a changeup, and it's a real good changeup from Ethan Grimm.
Gasparino a short lead at first. Popped up again, and it goes to the screen.
That's ball 3 right there, and ultimately speaking, based on the form of Cashel Duggar, I'm taking the bunt off right now because it's obvious he's not comfortable doing this. And a hitter will tell you if he's comfortable bunting just by how he looks.
He squares, and it's a full count now on Duggar.
Well, now this changes the entire equation because you got Gasparino at first, who can run. There's no question about it.
Would you put a hit and run on here?
No, not a hit and run. Not with this count. I'm not.
Bunted, and he's out.
I'm shocked.
He can't advance the runner, and Duggar strikes out trying to bunt. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th.
I am 100% shocked, and I'll tell you why. If you're bunting on a 3-2 count in this situation with a runner at first and no outs, with a hitter who does not have a sacrifice bunt, and he looks like it, and I say this not in a negative way to Duggar, but he hasn't sacrificed the entire year, and he missed 2 other previous opportunities. And when you know a fastball's coming, if you're Cashel Duggar and that count, I let him swing.
This is the DH spot, and Dominic Cadiz pinch hitting, the freshman from Sherman Oaks. A .253 hitter on the year, 87 at bats. He has 2 homers, has driven in 15. The winning run is Will Gasparino, the runner at first base. Came up as a pinch hitter yesterday against St. Mary's, and he flew out in the bottom of the 8th. Cadiz. Virginia Tech had a 5-3 lead to the bottom of the 9th, but back-to-back homers, Moulibai-Lavu, Roman Martin have knotted it for UCLA. The infield hit, Gasparino at first with 1 out. And it's a strike, top of the zone to Cadiz, 2-1.
Cadiz reminds me a lot of Roman Martin when he was a young player for the Bruins. Big kid, big upside, in my opinion. Boy, what a good pitch from Ethan Grimm right there. Nice breaking pitch.
Freshman from Pennsylvania. Made 7 starts this year. And out of the bullpen. 2-2 on Cadiz. The pitch. And it's ball 3.
I'm going to send Gasparino on this pitch right here. If it's a fastball, pretty good chance Cadiz puts it in play. If it's a breaking pitch, and even if it's swung and miss, you get a stolen base.
And Virginia Tech thinking along those lines as Ethan Grimm throws to first. Runner goes, and it's fouled off of the plate as Cadiz slammed it off his front foot. Madden Clement started the inning, served up the back-to-back homers, and Grimm entered. Gets up, and the winning run at third base, 1 out in the bottom of the 9th as the pinch hit single by Dominic Cadiz for UCLA.
Well, the Bruins sent Gasparino at first base, and because they sent him on this pitch away, watch Gasparino at the top. The ball's in front of him. He makes this decision to go to third on his own. Great job by Lacuto in left field. Roxy, you mentioned he slipped, but this is Gasparino. He's his own base running coach right now. And here's Rock doing what he always does.
But first, a mound visit. Doug Willey, the Virginia Tech pitching coach, emerging from the dugout. The winning run at third. Phoenix Call at the plate for UCLA, the 8-hitter. And he was the guy at the plate. He got credited with the winning RBI when the Bruins won the Big Ten tournament on the hit by pitch against Oregon in the 11th inning in Omaha last Sunday.
And there's a lot going on in this conversation right here. The runner at first means nothing right now. The runner at first means nothing. So Phoenix Call, they know, is a great bunter. He is a great bunter. And that's what we're talking about, in my opinion, right now, is if the hitter squares to bunt, what are we going to do? And normally, if you see the hitter square early, it's just screaming, and hopefully your pitcher hears it to throw the ball up in the zone.
Just the 2nd hit for UCLA with a runner on base in this regional. And this is the 18th inning UCLA has played. And interesting to see here, after the mound visit from Doug Willey, Virginia Tech ran an infielder's glove out to Sam Grube, and with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th and the winning run at third in this 5-5 game, the Hokies will employ a 5-man infield.
Now, Arizona State did this a couple times last night in that extra inning game against Ole Miss.
The last 3 wins for UCLA, all of the walk-off variety. There is the defense in the 5-man infield and the 2-man outfield. Phoenix Call is the batter. He doubled and scored in the 4th. Squaring is high, and only charging was the first baseman Gibson. Call has a sacrifice bunt in this one. He's 1 for 3.
Petrich didn't move at third. It's a little bit surprising.
Popped out of play. 1-1 on Phoenix Call. They're not holding Cadiz at first base. Would you send him? I know his run is inconsequential.
Not right now. Not right now in this situation. I'm not. Because you get a swing and miss, although Gasparino can fly at third. It's just a cutoff, a double cut.
Elevating is Grimm. 1-2 on Call.
Now this is Call just trying to put the ball in play.
Aiden Aguayo would be next for UCLA. He entered in the top of the inning to play second base. Just off the outside from Ethan Grimm.
And it was just on the outside.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 5-5, the #1 national seed, rallying here to keep their season going. Popped up, this will get out of play.
I mean, if you're Ethan Grimm, you want to stay up and out of the strike zone or down and away. Right where that last fastball was. Might get a pop-up.
And UCLA has won the game! A remarkable comeback in the bottom of the 9th. And the #1 national seed lives to see another day.
Just an incredible baseball game and an incredible comeback in the best game in the world. And this is exactly why the Bruins have the most come from behind wins in the entire country. Back-to-back home runs start this inning to tie the game, Roxy.
An improbable comeback by UCLA, trailing at 5-3, going to the bottom of the 9th. They scored 3 and win it, and they stay in this tournament. As we take a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance, and from UCLA, it was that bottom of the 9th that it started with LeBou.
Well, he hits his slider with 2 strikes. He turned into that leadoff hitter. Got some life in that Bruins dugout. And then Roman Martin said, if you can do it, Vi, I can do it also. And the game was tied just like that, Rox.
And then Phoenix Call with the walk-off single with Will Gasparino third and 1 out. And Phoenix Call delivers. It was his walk-off RBI that won the Big Ten tournament. And now, with the Bruins facing elimination, in Game 3 of the Los Angeles Regional, Phoenix Call drives in Will Gasparino and does it again. And the emotion from the Bruins in the improbable rally in the bottom of the 9th to win it. And on the other side, the stun and the heartbreak for Virginia Tech, but the UCLA Bruins, they just find a way and they win it here as Rock Chalowski joins us. And first of all, Rock, congratulations. You were just a spectator like us unfortunately there in the bottom of the ninth, but what was it like for you being in that dugout?
I mean, it's something that we preach the entire year. One of our main goals is the offense, and as a team especially is the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. We know that we're never out of a game. There was a lot of belief in the dugout coming in, even after they put up one in the top of the ninth. But, just the belief in one another and, just trying to get the bat to the next guy is, what we were trying to do. And, everyone really bought into it, and it showed in that last inning.
Well, Rock, there was one thing was very different about this game is if you didn't win, the season was over. What was that feeling like in your dugout?
Yeah, I mean, it was the main emphasis before we started today. Tough game yesterday, didn't go our way. We played a lot of tight games all year. Won most of them yesterday, didn't go our way. The main emphasis on today was, get to tomorrow. Survive in advance. We're at our place. We take pride in playing at our place, and, we didn't want this to be the last time that we're all together as a group. So, everyone bought into that and, ended up on top today.
Well, Rock, listen, everybody's watched you play, and when you do something good, you're very, very humble. When your teammates do something good, you seem like the most excited dude in that dugout. Where's that come from?
I mean, straight from the heart. I love these guys more than anything. I mean, I've made 40 best friends every year that I've been here, but, this group definitely feels different, especially, going through the last 2-3 years with these guys. So, seeing them succeed, it just, I enjoyed a lot more than seeing myself succeed. This is a team of guys, pulling on the same side of the rope, and everyone wants everyone to do good. And, just seeing other guys succeed, it just really makes my day.
Well, the good news for you, Rock, is we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for
joining us.
Go Bruins.
Unbelievable win for UCLA, scoring 3 in the bottom of the ninth. Wow. To come back, and the heartbreak, the dejection on the other side for Virginia Tech, who carried a 2-run lead to the bottom of the ninth. And UCLA still has not lost back-to-back games all season. The Bruins are now 52-7. And you can see the emotion for Virginia Tech and the sorrow for John Sheff's team, and you feel for them considering they were in position to win this game and eliminate the #1 seed from the tournament.
It's the ebbs and flows of the postseason in college baseball, and there's some seniors over there in that dugout. This is the last time they're going to put that uniform on for the Hokies, and there's so much emotion that just transpired in the past 30 minutes.
UCLA has scuffled offensively until the 9th inning in this Regional West. Can a win like this and an inning like they just had energize them and propel them into this tournament and make a run?
Absolutely. That inning right there is who the Bruins were in early April and all the way up to May. So yes, 100% it could wake them up as we take a look at our bracket here.
The updated bracket, as in this elimination game, the Bruins come back and take care of Virginia Tech in a 6-5 win as they rally with 3 in the bottom of the ninth and stun the Hokies. And unfortunately for Virginia Tech, their season ends. But a great effort from the Hokies here this afternoon and in this tournament. But that can be the heartbreak in baseball. Unfortunately, that's what the Hokies are dealing with.
They are, and again, a very good season for the Hokies. They finished the season very, very strong, represented themselves tremendous against the best team in the country, Rocks.
Once again, our final score, a walk-off win, UCLA 6, Virginia Tech 5. For Wes Clements and our entire crew, Roxy Bernstein, thanks for watching from Los Angeles as we go to the studio. Matt Schick, Mike Rooney, and Chris Burke. Top that one, boys.